5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny this afternoon, late rain tomorrow, 23. With the 4 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
The Excelsior Hotel has always felt like home, with meals from just $12. Gotta love the Excelsior Hotel.
Aussie Olympians have been welcomed home today with 53 medals in their luggage, including a record 18 gold. 9 SA competitors touched down in Adelaide early afternoon from Paris, including track cyclist Matthew Glaetzer and Lee Hoffman and swimmer Matthew Temple. Premier Peter Malinauskas says competing at a Games is an incredible accomplishment.
All of the athletes that have done us proud internationally, best Olympics ever. South Australia made its contribution to that effort, and we should celebrate our athletes and what they've done for inspiring another generation of people to take up the healthy activity of physical recreation.
The state government is cracking down on those who make and distribute sexually explicit deepfakes online. 99% of victims in deepfake porn are women or girls. Attorney General Kayam Ma says they'll introduce legislation later this year to fill a gap in our current laws.
There will be significant penalties for the creation or dissemination of these sorts of invasive, humiliating or degrading materials, up to 2 years in jail or a $10,000 fine, and both of those double if the victim's under 17 years of age.
Children who started school during the pandemic could be falling behind with literacy skills. The latest NAPLAN scores show at least 10% of students have failed to meet basic expectations in reading and numeracy. The Smith family's Doug Taylor says year groups who started during COVID saw a significant decline.
There's no doubt that COVID has impacted a generation of young people, but we know that these latest NAPLAN results are really a clear indication there is much more that needs to be done to put in place to support the students with foundational learning opportunities from an early age.
The Commonwealth Bank's full-year profit has slipped, but not by as much as expected. Their cash profit came in at $9.8 billion, down 2% on its previous result. CBA investors will receive a fully franked dividend of $4.65 per share. The Prime Minister is accusing the opposition leader of stoking division over Palestinian visas. Peter Dutton believes Palestinians seeking to come into Australia should not be allowed in. He argues many support the terror group Hamas and could pose a security risk. Anthony Albanese telling Parliament Mr Dutton's attitude reeks of hypocrisy.
Of course, under the former government, there's this organisation called the Taliban in Afghanistan, and that, of course, did not stop Australia from accepting people from Afghanistan, and rightly so.
New Zealand's central bank has slashed interest rates for the first time in more than 4 years. The cash rate across the ditch cut by 25 basis points to 5.25%, almost a year ahead of the Reserve Bank of New Zealand's projections. Their annual inflation has dropped to 3.3%. And the Earth is moving again on America's west coast. Yesterday, Los Angeles was shaken by an earthquake. Today, it's Las Vegas, with a magnitude 4.1 tremor recorded in Nevada in the nearby Indian Springs area. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Collect the new shrouded Fable Pokemon trading cards at Sports Card World, Regent Arcade, Rundle Mall.
Port will hold an open training session at Alberton from 6:15 tonight. Mitch Georgiades will be out to prove his fitness ahead of Saturday night's Showdown. Clayton Oliver will miss Melbourne's remaining 2 games with a knee injury and fractures to his ribs, while also undergoing hand surgery. The fallout from the Scott Ninnis sacking continues. The former 36ers coach has engaged lawyers to handle his payout after being axed 6 months into a 2-year deal. And Jordan Thompson has advanced to the second round at the Cincinnati Masters. The Australian upset world number 17 Ugo Humbert in 3 sets. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Aged 45 to 49, search Australian Government free bowel screening kit and order yours today.
G'day there at West Hindmarsh Crash, South Road near Grange Road, at Bracket, West Watermain, Bridge Road near Hazel Street. Slow for works at South Brighton, Brighton Road near Broadway, and busy at the moment at Verdun for works on the freeway near the Verdun ramp. A couple of cameras at Savo, Anglevale Road, Virginia, and Main North Road at Elizabeth Park. Head into Adrian Bryant Automotive for great deals across 5 big brands: Kia, Hyundai, Nissan, Ford and Renault. Adrian Bryant Automotive, South Road, St Mary's. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the FIVEAA forecast.
Get the Toyota forklift advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Sunny this afternoon, 23 tomorrow, but with late rain. Friday, showers 16. Saturday, a shower or two, 17. Right now, it's 22 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, our special investigation into a multi-million-dollar solar scam, ripping off hard-working Aussies. Online deep fakes, the new move to protect you and your family. We'll have every golden moment as our Olympic heroes touch down from Paris, and another Crows Showdown hurdle. Riley Thilthorpe leaves training early. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and 9 now.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide. The 5AA Sports Show.
Get around the little bar!
Stephen Rowe and Tim Jennifer.
Pick the beauty!
Yeah, good afternoon. 4:06 on this Wednesday, and the sun is back out on this hump day, but enjoy it while it lasts, because we know the rain is incoming tomorrow and Friday. 3 sleeps out from Showdown, and trade talk has already begun. That's all to come as I welcome Timmy and Tredders.
Yeah, thanks very much, Sam, and thanks for putting a dampener on golf day tomorrow. Is it going to rain early or late?
Early showers, I think, and a little bit later in the day.
You're just making that up.
That's a good idea, though.
Go to the bureau.
Why was that?
Well, because if it's a bit wet, plug the green stains bouncing through.
True. It's a glass half full way of looking
That's
at
a good
it.
one. That's a good description. I like that. I'm going to visualise all
Play
of
the
that
extra
tonight.
club, Timmy.
Okay, I like that as well. See, I need a caddy. What are you doing to me?
Don't
Mate,
cop
no one
that.
puts baby in a corner.
That's it. Don't cop that.
Let me play.
No, he puts Tredders as a caddy. But anyway, welcome, Warren Treadray. It's midweek, hump day, you name it, Wednesday. Well, it's going to be an open training session for Port Adelaide fans if they want to go down to Alberton. They're doing that under lights.
Sit down the precinct.
I think
Get snitty.
Adelaide trained today, so I'm not sure that there'll be too many changes on that front either after a fantastic win.
Well,
so
it's Georgiades'
obviously
watch,
the
isn't
one.
it?
It is Mitch Georgiades' watch, so we'll put a call in and see if we can find somebody that's down there watching and see if he trains. Of course, Tex will be out of the Showdown, as we know, with that sore eye, so hopefully he gets back for that last minor round game. In the meantime, gee whiz, there's been lots of sort of gossip and things happening over the border, that's for sure. Firstly, we do know that Alex Neil Bullen put in a request to be traded for family reasons. I'll just read out the little statement that was put out, and it said, due to family circumstances, Alex Neil Bullen has formally requested a trade back to his home state of South Australia at season's end. Now, since this is a quote of Alex, since day one I felt the love from the footy club, so to make this decision to head home is an incredibly hard one. It's something that I thought long and hard about, and had really open conversations with my wife Georgie about where our best future lies. The decision became clear that I need to put family first and move our family back to South Australia. So, yeah, he's obviously a quality lad.
Good player too.
And a good player. He's playing the Premiership, of course, already. I think he's going to be 29.
Yep,
years
start of the year,
age,
next year.
In Jan, so he's still probably got 3 or 4 years good footy left in for sure. So
Contracted for 2 more years at the D's.
so there'll be lots of machinations, I say, in the back rooms. Calculators
Who
just
needs them
punching
most,
away.
Port or Crows?
It's a good question because I was talking to a Port person today who said, because there's been a bit of mixed results on it. Some people saying, yeah, we want him, and others say, no, we don't need him. Now, one of the statements was...
He plays the Power Pepper role.
Well, that was the statement. He's very much in Sam Powell-Pepper's role, and if Sam's fit and ready, we'd probably go with that. So does that then free him up to do something else for Port, in a different position? So
Adelaide?
There's that. For Adelaide, they might want maybe a bit more experience around the footy. So there might be, Laird goes half back, maybe he comes into that midfield. It does remind me a bit of Dunkley, how, sort of hard he goes at it.
Yeah, and he tagged on the weekend, he tagged Butters for the first period of time and did a pretty good job early on.
Yeah, so...
he played the defensive role as that forward, pressure forward, as we know, which is a thankless task, ask Power Pepper. And obviously that was one that's missing with Port Adelaide this year. But it'll be interesting to see with this one, this falls out. Mitch Cleary, who's... got his nose into this story, Seven Journo from 7 News in Melbourne. We'll chat to him, so we'll ask him who's looking good on that. But there's plenty going on. There's a few rumours around, other movements in the footy world. We'll chat to Jimmy Bartel about that as well when our catch up with him.
Well, the coach, Simon Goodwin at Melbourne, was asked about Alex Neil Bullen, and he had this to say.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll continue to play. He's such an important person for us, and he wants to enjoy the rest of his time at the Melbourne Footy Club, and we want him to enjoy it. We want him to be able to sing that song again. That's one thing he said. I want to sing the song again in the next couple of weeks. That's the type of person he is.
Yeah, I think he's a ripper lad, so whoever does get him is probably getting a quality person, that's for sure. So well done to the young man, and hopefully that all works out well. Is it a sign now, though, that this early trade talk is, and I heard Goody sort of say something about the maturity that's happening now in AFL world, about talking about maybe, and this could get earlier and earlier, because this is probably the earliest I've seen it in AFL.
I think this is surprising given we still haven't finished playing. My understanding is the journo got wind of it, and then the club obviously released we're going to release this in 2 weeks' time, ideally.
Right.
But if it gets out, it gets out like everything. Nothing stays quiet in footy land nowadays.
Yeah, so
when everyone's got one of those weapons of mass destruction called a phone, they can record, they can film. The old days of, oh no one saw me going in for surgery or scans, and next minute, vision everywhere. So this is probably one of those cases.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to be hearing about it, say, in June.
Well, we don't want. I don't think we ever want the NRL model where you're signing for a club at the start of the year or the first part of the year, knowing you've got to play the full season out and you're leaving next year.
That's the model I don't want. Because, look, when I think your team maybe can't make finals, I don't mind a bit of talk about it happening, because the finals campaign can't happen. But I think if you're in finals mode, I'd love you to be able to hold that and wait. Because there's plenty of time to talk about it afterwards, but like you said, if a journalist gets hold of it, well, that's it. It's going to get out there. So, I'll tell you what, there is lots of noise bubbling at the Melbourne Football Club, and David Schwartz, of course, a Melbourne champion, he had a fair bit to say about what's going on.
Our best players aren't happy with other, good players that just aren't preparing the way they should. You need everything to be going right to win flags. You just can't not do the work and expect to be able to roll through a season. And it's clear that players have tapered off. Clayton Oliver's pre-season was well documented, but he's not the only one. There was probably a handful of players that floated through and, were out partying rather than out preparing. And it's caught up on them. And when you got three of your leaders of your footy club, one wanting to go home for family reasons, which you understand, that players like Christian, we can ill afford to be unhappy.
Well, that's not surprising. If you look at it and go, Petrarca's story clearly has got some sort of legs because someone's run with the story, right? Melbourne puts a statement out, we're happy because he's still got 5 years to go on a well-paid contract. Big money, and he's a superstar of the comp, so he should be. But clearly he's someone that wants to win again. And when they won the premiership with the youngest team, I think, in the last 15 years. So they were primed for sustained success. And then since then, I think they've gone back-to-back finals, straight sets exits.
Straight sets, and then, of course, this year they're not going to play finals at all.
Yeah.
So
for him, he's like, and he sees clearly the Clayton Oliver, which is the off-field issue and the on-field issue. On-field has been affected by his preparation off-field and a few things that he's been challenged with. And clearly there's something to it. The Neil Bullen one's clearly a personal situation that we've revealed. But you can't help but think that there's going to have to be machinations as to how things are going to work in the off-season, because Melbourne fans are going, well, hang on, how can we have this supremely talented list and we're underachieving? And if there's players who aren't happy, it's boiling to the top. It's obvious.
There's bubbling, no doubt about that. Simon Goodwin, he responded to about I suppose, the comments on the environment at the club.
People seem to parcel frustrations and tension up as a negative. It's actually a positive. And you'd be surprised if you walk into an environment of a footy club, these conversations happen weekly.
I sort of took that as, I use a term called healthy friction. And I don't think that is unhealthy. I think it's great that you are challenging one another and making sure that you're getting the best out of everybody. So that's his interpretation of it. And what he's saying is, from outside, they're saying, well, that's trouble.
Yep.
He's saying, well, actually, any successful organisation has good, healthy friction.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Discussions.
I agree with that. But then good, healthy discussion doesn't mean your best player wants to move. So for me, it's a big positive if you deal with it and get better. Clearly, they've got some stuff they need to deal with.
Yeah. So give us a call, 8223 0000. Alex Neil Bullen. You want him?
Does he fit your club?
Does he fit your club? Do you want him to come to your club? Had a unique homestyle food text already saying, no, definitely Neil Bullen and Power Pepper can play together. So that's an option for Port Adelaide, says Marco. So he said there's other people's positions. DBJ could be one that he could take. So that's Marco's point of view on it. So, yeah, give us a call, 822
and he is
0000.
29 in January, 9 next year. So, he's no spring chicken. I think he's been pretty injury-prone over the journey. He's last played, 21 games this year so far, 25 before that, 23, 25. Good. So he's pretty durable.
He's durable. And, like I said, probably got 3 or 4 good years ahead of him. So, good option. Let's see what happens out there. There's a showdown happening this week. Absolutely. I'm not sure if you caught up on that. It's Port Adelaide v the Adelaide Crows. Here is the captain, Conor Rozee, today on the importance of Showdown.
We're really excited for this week. Obviously, they've had the better of us in the last couple of showdowns, and the boys are really excited to hopefully swing it back in our favour. I think they're one in front overall in the showdowns, but for us, it's putting ourselves in a position. We've said from the start of the season that we want to make finals and go deep into finals, so this is good preparation for us and another game that we definitely want to win.
Yeah, we'll have Conor on around about 4:45 today, so keep listening in for that one. It's the build-up probably not as heated as times. I know that there's been some barbs thrown either side, but Fog made the comments that you brought up yesterday.
Yeah. And
it seems like it's on the Westlake side at the moment because Josh Rochelle, he was reported in the paper saying, we're going to treat this like a mini grand final, and we're going to, make sure that we win it and upset them and the like. So I do like the bubbling that's coming out of there.
Yeah, I like it, the fact that it's coming out of Adelaide, not Port.
And that's what I think too.
Because we got smacked after it happened to us last year. But, I love the honesty. I love the honesty from Fog. I love the honesty from Josh Rochelle, because when you can't play finals, what do you want to do? What's your best preparation for next year? It's to play as good a footy heading into the break. Send your players away on a mission to get fit, get better, desperate for finals. And if you can back up with what you're saying, that's the perfect recipe for an Adelaide bounce back.
Lockie Scholl was, he's excited by the challenge.
Yeah, I suppose it's a little bit of a factor, but at the same time, we go out every week to try and win. So this week will be no different, and playing against Port, it's their home showdown this time, and that'll be really exciting to, playing a hostile crowd, and we're really looking forward to that challenge.
There you go. That's from Lockie Scholl. He's in reasonable form himself. So
he is playing great footy.
Good year. So well played to them. The Adelaide 36ers, we spoke to the coach, the new coach, Mike Wells, yesterday, and had his thoughts on where he's going to take it from here. Of course, we heard the Brett Maher announcement yesterday that he won't be involved anymore out of respect for his mate Scott Ninnis.
Yep.
Corey Norris on Channel 9 has tweeted that sacked 36ers coach Scott Ninnis remains furious with the embattled club and has engaged lawyers to ensure he gets an adequate payout after he was sacked just 6 months into a 2-year deal. So that one keeps
bubbling along. But the unique
home style food for Wednesday.
Unique home style food text line. I've got someone who might be in the know has said that 36ers, these people are going to throw in the memberships. I'm hearing there's only 4 and 30 new people have signed up. So who knows? Who knows what's going on? But I'd understand, and even if that is a reality, that he's getting legal representation. Well, clearly it's been a termination of contract, so that'll find its way. But that's the reality of the sport we're in. Clearly there's emotion involved in this, and it'll sort its way out for mine.
So, Alex Neil-Bullen, do you want him at your club? And what would you have to probably give up? I already had a unique home-style food text from Tim saying Porter got no pick currency to trade for him. They'll have to give up a player.
No, they don't. Understanding the trade period, I don't mean to be disrespectful there. You can trade into future years. You can do a pick swap. You can now do a salary dump. So Melbourne could go, hey, we'll swap 4th round picks with you, or improve a few spots. We see those ones go, why do they trade? You do it for a long-term servant, and you get their money off your books. So there's all different machinations you can now use.
There you go.
And you can trade into the future for 1 year, and soon I'm understanding that there's a lot of discussion that it could be 2 years into the future. So if clubs want to do the deal, if Adelaide or Port are desperately keen to get the deal done, you'll be able to get the deal done quite comfortably, because this is a human element. This is the wonderful servant deciding to come home for personal reasons, and I think the D's, as Simon Goodwin's just said, won't stand in their way.
So Alex Neil-Bullen in Crows colours or Port colours in 2025. Who do you think it's the better fit? You have your say, yay or nay. 822 300 $50 Powers voucher up for grabs today. We have more Showdown 56 locker room tickets to give away tonight, so you'll want to be hanging around, listening in for your opportunity to win. We have Jimmy Bartel, we have Port Adelaide's captain Conor Rozee. Where are they now with an Olympic gold medalist? And Mitch Cleary shortly with the latest in all the trade news and what's happening there at the Melbourne Footy Club, which is all very intriguing at the minute from Channel 7. 20 minutes after 4, we'll get to your calls straight after the break.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
City Discount Tires.
Get saving this month at City Discount Tires. Grab 3 Falcon Zig ZE 310R passenger car tires and get the 4th tyre absolutely free. Experience top-notch performance with exceptional grip on both wet and dry surfaces. Steer your way to citydiscounttires.com.au for even more great deals. City Discount Tires. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tires.
At Simplicity Funerals, we have been keeping funerals simple and easy for over 40 years. Visit simplicityfunerals.com.au or call us 24/7 to get started today. Simplicity Funerals. Easy, respectful, simple.
From the very beginning, she's been there for you. Your sidekick through thin and thin. You've raised a family together, supported one another's dreams and goals. Look into my eyes when I'm saying this, Tredders.
This is weird.
And when
Are you going to buy me something from Bell and Brunt?
I've actually spoken to my wife about this. I said, I want you to listen to this ad because I read it with passion. And when things got tough, you got through it together.
Yeah, so if this anniversary or birthday, express your
I've got both of
gratitude
those
and your
coming
love.
up.
And I'm not looking in your eyes because it's weird. Normally you used to do that and you'd be screaming at me.
Yeah,
but,
true.
The love with a handmade statement jewellery piece from Bell and Brunt, a 5th-generation family-owned custom jeweller, over a century of experience, Timmy. Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and when I said it, I said it could be a ring, a pendant, a bracelet, diamond earrings, because their birthday's coming up at the end of September. Our anniversary's in December.
Jeez, you'd
so
wanna
there's
live.
opportunities here at Bell and Brunt for me, and they are the master artisans of creating something unique for your partner as well. And she is unique, so this is going to be good. Using only the finest natural materials and paying meticulous attention to every detail, showcasing your appreciation and love.
Absolutely.
That's the main thing.
I can see why your wife just gets so excited when you start shopping for her. So don't leave the moments just to any jeweller. Celebrate your partner with something special from Bell and Brunt. Right? Visit their updated studio at 14A James Place, the city, or bellandbrunt.com.au. Bell and Brunt, crafted for generations.
Join Gliderol in celebrating the Colorbond Steal the Show promotion. By purchasing a roller door or sectional door made from Colorbond steel from Gliderol, now or within the last 12 months, you could win $100,000. Visit gliderol.com.au today for a free measure and quote. Retail customers only. T's and C's apply. See colorbond.com/steal the show. 18 plus only. Strict purchase and eligibility criteria apply. Ends 30/11/24.
You've heard the phrase hands-on, right? That's what Exceed Solar is. A hands-on solar company. The owners are fully qualified electricians and they've been installing solar panels, inverters and batteries all over SA for years. They know it all because they've seen it all firsthand, which makes them more qualified than most to know what's really going to work for you. Exceed Solar, built on knowledge, not a hard sell. Visit exceedsolar.com.au.
The biggest threat to your business isn't your competition, it's cybercrime. Cybercrime threats impacting Australian businesses large and small continues to grow year on year. One call to one solution will put your business in a safe place and save you from the devastating consequences of cybercrime. It's the smartest, most cost-effective business decision you'll ever make. Stay safe and protected. Get in touch with One Solution. onesolution.net.au, a Platinum Telstra partner.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sport Show, Rozee and Timmy G.
24 after 4, Tredders filling in for Rozee this week. Your calls are next, 8223 0000 if you want to jump on the show and have your say for a $50 Powers voucher. We'll give that away shortly. But first, here's your roads for Rossdale Homes, the custom home, 2-story and split-level specialists.
G'day there, crash look out for at West Hindmarsh, South Road near Grange Road, Bracket, Burst Watermain, Bridge Road near Hazel Street. Slow for work to Verdun, the freeway near the Verdun ramp, and getting busy on the drive home, Tapley Hill Road at the North. Canberra, Sturton Road, Edinburgh, and Yorktown Road at One Tree Hill. Last chance to enjoy IKEA's Happy Days. Get 50% off main dishes for IKEA family members. 11 a.m. till close on Fridays at IKEA. Ends this Friday. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
David Chilling at Byron Bay. G'day, mate.
Oh,
yeah, hi, gents. How you going?
Good, buddy. Hope you're stressed up there, mate.
Oh, look, not quite beach weather today, I've got to say. It's been pouring pretty heavily the last couple of days, but
good. It's lovely,
not a bad spot. But look, just a couple of things there, mainly for Tredders, actually. Tredders, firstly, the 2 years of draft pick trading starts next year, so
yeah, it does,
it is coming, but it doesn't kick in until next year.
Yep.
From a port perspective, probably both of you, including Tredders, do you think you'd want Luco? The reason I asked that, I think Crow certainly would take him, is that Tredders, you did sort of overstate a few things last night. You sort of mentioned Luco's on $1 million or so, and he would take a first and second round pick, same as Rankin. It has been widely reported he's on $700,000 before CBA uplifts over coming years, as well as Rankin was only a first round draft pick only. So I just thought I'd clarify those two things and get your thoughts on Port Adelaide wanting him.
Well, I know I'm a bit privy to some information, so I can't go down that road of what Port want to do long term. But for me, it all comes back to forget the name, look at the person. So you can name 5 players here. Are they going to fit your list? Are they going to fit your salary cap? And what are you going to have to give up with them? Are they under contract or are they not? Lukosius, my understanding from what I read is that he still has 2 years to go on a pretty healthy deal. Mm-hmm. And to do that, you've got to look and go, well, where does it sit? You know, what are we trying to get? Is he this person's age demo? And Neil Bullen I would look at it and go cherry on top, right? Can play a role for 2, 3, maybe 4 years. Lukosius is a lot younger. So these are the things that list management have got to do. And clearly, both through Justin Reid, the Crows, and Jason Cripps at Port Adelaide, they're going to have to work through those machinations of what happens. Then we have also seen that the deal that they did with Geelong, I've just forgot the player off the top of my head, which was a salary dump. Many years ago, Jack Bowes. So Jack Bowes comes in, they get something early pick. It's because the Gold Coast was full of salary cap issues. And these are the things that are all going, and this is why the people know it. And it works out best. You look at what Port gave up for Horn Francis, which was a lot. It was included in the Rioli deal. The Rankin one, I was pretty sure it was was more than that. But it all depends on how much money are the clubs going to pay. Like Lukosius is on good money. You know, this is probably hasn't achieved what a Conor Rozee, who we'll speak to a little bit later, has achieved in that same draft, like a Rankin. They're going to get paid well. All right, is it a straight trade? Are you taking on all their money that's owed, partially their money that's owed? Are Gold Coast going to pay a bit? If they pay a bit, the pick will look better. There's all these machinations. But for me can they complement your team? Do you think them being a clear role and a defined role that you need? And that's the decision for the powers to be that have got to do their job.
Conor Rozee was asked about Lukosius today.
Yeah, I might have to do some convincing to do, but yeah, I'm sure he'd love to come home. He's a South Australian, but again, there's a lot to play out, and it's a very personal decision.
They're best mates from high school years and years ago, so yeah, they do chat very often, those two.
Okay, Corey's actually sent a text in saying, "Hey guys, starting to think it'll be Sam Berry to Melbourne, Alex Neil Bullen to Adelaide." That the rumour about Sam Berry's been strong because he just held onto the contract talk. So
yeah, he hasn't signed.
Let's go to the phones. G'day, Phil.
How you going, boys?
Good, buddy.
I wonder how many tickets they sell to the Showdown. First they had 100-seat stadium. I wonder how many they'd actually sell this Showdown.
What do you reckon, Phil? Do you think if we had an MCG 100,000-seat stadium this week, if we could do a deal between the clubs, for example, one club gets 50% of tickets, and so we've got a genuine 50-50 crowd, do you think we'd sell it out?
I think we'd break into the 80s.
Yeah, I agree.
Gee, that'd be awesome.
Because I've had so many mates ring me for tickets. No answers, sorry.
Yeah, I've tried.
Kids
to get
want
one
tickets,
too,
want to go to the hill.
Oh, give me a ticket so I can go to the hill, please.
Good on you, Phil.
You're in the running for prizes anyway.
Absolutely.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, $50 powers voucher.
Do you actually think, Timmy, we'd get 80 plus?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Would you clip 100?
Especially if you went back on a couple of big showdown moments that were vital games for both teams and the like. I reckon you probably
This weekend.
Would. Yeah, this weekend.
The way it sits.
The way it sits, it probably warrants 75. Yeah, I reckon.
Peter Malinauskas listening.
If Adelaide was pushing for the finals, I think it definitely would go over 80. There you go.
Wow.
It's a great question to ask. Well, tell us what you think. 8223 0000. We can ponder that after the 4:30 headlines. Mitch Cleary and Conor Rozee coming up next.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Good afternoon. Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. Police are hunting a man after a home invasion at Plympton. SA-based Olympians have arrived home after the Paris Games. The federal opposition is being accused of stoking division as it pushes for a visa ban on people fleeing Gaza. And in sport, Port fans can attend tonight's open training session at Alberton. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Aged 45 to 49, search Australian Government free bowel screening kit and order yours today.
G'day there, busy in the usual spots at the moment. Main North Road at Enfield, the Porter Expressway at Port Adelaide, bit sluggish, and super slow South Road at Theberton. Burst Watermain slowing things up to Paraka, Bridge Road near Hazel Street, with cameras the Savo, Dalkeith Road, Monopara Downs, and West Avenue at Edinburgh. Live your best solo life with Flight Centre's Asia Sail. Discover Vietnam on a 10-day intrepid small group tour, including a private room from under $180 per day. Book now at Flight Centre. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, partly cloudy tonight down to 13, rain developing tomorrow 24. Right now it's 22. We'll have more news at 5 and as it happens on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodies. 5AA Breakfast.
Rising consultation costs and a lack of bulk billing options are being blamed for the number of visits to GPs plummeting by almost 2.5 million in a year. Crikey. That is unbelievable.
2.5 million.
Let's remember, we are bringing in more people into the country than ever before right now. That is a mind-boggling number.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
Well, isn't the key driver of that cost of living?
Yes.
People just can't afford to go.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Drums, please. Unprecedented, unparalleled, unrivaled. The demo sale continues. Edwardstown Mazda are offering a minimum 10% discount on all Mazda demonstrator models and 2 years free scheduled servicing or $1,000 genuine accessories on new cars. Plus get a minimum $2,000 on your old vehicle. Only at Edwardstown Mazda.
It's gotta be
Edwardstown Mazda, the #1 destination for Mazda in SA. T's and C's apply.
If you're aged between 45 and 49, this news could save your life. You can now opt in to the National Bowel Cancer Screening Program and get a free test kit, which up to now only eligible Australians 50 to 74 could get. Bowel cancer is Australia's second deadliest cancer, but over 90% of cases are treatable if diagnosed early. So, start screening earlier. Search Australian Government Free Bowel Kit and order yours today. Brought to you by the Jodie Lee Bowel Cancer Foundation and the Government of South Australia.
Tredders, do you cook barbecues at home at all?
Yes.
Good, because I want you to lift to
What do you mean?
to a tong master. Not just flipping snags. I want you to earn the title of Backyard Hospitality Director.
How do I do that?
Well, this is how you do it. Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens. You deserve the very best outdoor
Yes.
kitchen. You can choose from the best appliances, bar, fridge, pizza oven. Stun your guests with one of their custom-made concrete bench tops.
Do they teach you how to do the dough
amazing.
too?
I
Because
reckon
that's where I really fall down. I love the pizzas, but the doughs winemaker's
Justin
terrible.
is really talented. He might be able to do it.
Yeah, that's good. These so what we're talking about is these indoor concrete bench tops too. So this is not only the outdoor stuff, it's the indoor. So the handmade bench tops can really update any kitchen space. Custom made for you. Every piece is unique, especially for you, Timothy.
Well played. Now, what you can do is you can call for a consultation or a quote today or go there. Seaford Meadows, I've been up there myself at Farrow Circuit. Watch the boys in action. They do a terrific job. The best backyard hospitality directors choose Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens. Where do you got to go? Well, you can go to Seaford Meadows or you can just go online, adelaideoutdoorkitchens.com.au.
New Zealand. Spectacular, safe, friendly and the perfect getaway destination. Holiday Wonders offers the most value-packed 17-day fully inclusive Grand Pacific holiday package. Fly direct from Adelaide with Air New Zealand and tour both the North and South Islands with meals, accommodation and endless highlights. Enjoy over $1,000 per couple in bonus value and a $200 per person discount. Regular departures available from September 2024 to May 2025. holidaywonders.com.au.
With IGA's Community Give Back sale, you can make big savings.
And help support local causes. Look for tickets on specials like Twinings tea bags 80 to 100 pack varieties $6.75 each, half price. Now at your local IGA. Offer ends August 20 while stocks last. Excludes Foodland and local grocer.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rozee and Timmy G.
Clayton Oliver and Christian Petrarca will be at the footy club next year. I can guarantee they'll be running around in red and blue jumpers. They're much loved players for our footy club.
Simon Goodwin speaking earlier today at the Melbourne Football Club presser. Lots happening, including a request for a player to come back to South Australia.
Absolutely. 7 News Melbourne chief footy reporter Mitch Cleary on the line. G'day, Mitch.
G'day, guys. How you going?
Excellent, buddy. Excellent. Hey, Alex Neil-Bullen, I reckon it's being handled really maturely. What do you think?
Yeah, and I probably think the club would have liked it to have held until the end of the season, but he went to Simon Goodwin 3 or 4 weeks ago and said, given my family situation, just he and his partner have just welcomed a little baby to the universe, and there's a bit going on around his family. I think it was best for him to request a trade back home. And it's funny, a few years ago, the Demons actually put him up for trade, and he decided to stay, and it was all sort of up in the air. Now the shoes on the other foot. I agree with it. It feels like it's a very mature decision, and you'd think the Crows would be ahead of the Power at the moment, just with where things sit. Still a long time between now and the end of trade period, but yeah, he's a good player. He's had a pretty good season. Goes under the radar a little bit, but those people at Melbourne love him, and I think he's a pretty good egg, Alex Neil-Bullen. So he'd be a great addition to either side.
Geez, it's early, isn't it, Mitch? We haven't even finished the season, and we're talking trades now getting out, and players talking to clubs saying they want to get out. Is that surprising, or is that where we're headed?
It's probably happened for a while, Tredders. It's just now it's probably, I think, that level of maturity that players are open and honest about it. I think the Neil-Bullen one makes sense now-ish because their season's done. They can't play finals. I don't think we'll see anyone at Geelong or the Western Bulldogs be doing this now, but yeah, I think it shows where footy's at the moment. And Neil-Bullen's been a great servant of that footy club. He's got a few years left on his contract, but it feels like all parties are open to the fact that he'll be playing in South Australia next year.
Yeah, you're closer to anyone, obviously with part of Seven's game day coverage and news as well. Christian Petrarca, stories around him wanting out. Clayton Oliver, does he survive? Simon Goodwin's adamant today that both are staying there for 2025. What's your take on what's happening at, what would you call it, Amy Park or the Demons' homeland?
Yeah, they split it between Amy Park and Casey these days, which is more than an hour apart when you hit the traffic in Melbourne, Tredders. I think both stay. Their midfield's been decimated really this year. They lost Brayshaw at the start of the year, which was massive, but they've lost Harms, Jordan, and a few of these other guys around it. They're quite skinny in the midfield now, so I can't see them, accepting a trade for either of those players unless there's, say, 3 first-round picks involved. The Petrarca one, clearly there's a level of frustration with how the injury's been handled and where he's at with the future of the club, but I don't think he even would acknowledge in deep down that he would be any chance to leave that footy club. I think it was more of a level of frustration and conversations that might have spilled over to the public side of things. And then Clayton Oliver, I think he just needs a good pre-season. The club's been pretty forthright that he won't be going anywhere. It won't stop clubs having another look at him, given this time last year there was all sorts of conversations around Clayton Oliver. I think it was closer to him leaving than maybe the footy club would suggest. But I'd be expecting both to be playing at Melbourne next year. They're both important players, and if they're going to be doing any damage next year, they need both of those guys in the park.
Rozee on this show last Thursday night released a little rumour that he said Matty Nix went up to the Gold Coast, met with Jack Lukosius. How serious is this link to returning home?
Well, Tim, I'm still yet to hear that be denied from the Crows side of things. So I think when Rozee goes with something like that, usually there's quite a bit of merit to it. Yeah, I'd be definitely watching the Jack Lukosius space. 2 years to run on a pretty healthy contract at Gold Coast. When he's omitted late in the season, they go on and win that game against Essendon, I think that tells you everything you need to know that this guy is up for grabs. The Suns will say it was a need for a circuit breaker at that footy club, but I think, it just feels like when coaches come in, they don't always click with every player, and Jack Lukosius was tried in defence this year after having a really solid year last year in attack. He's eventually moved into attack, but then they've got Jed Walter coming through. The Crows have been linked for a long time, but then I saw Conor Rozee today. He's one of his closest mates, Jack Lukosius. So maybe a bidding war, that would suit the Suns. They don't need the picks over the Suns. They've got the academy players through the door. They've got another academy player coming through this year who'll be, early in the draft in Leo Lombard. The one thing they don't need is early draft picks. So they could easily say, let's hold Jack Lukosius. On the other foot, they do need to re-sign some young talent, Mac Andrew, Matthew Rowell, and these sort of players. So they might need the salary cap room.
Is their cap tight?
Not as tight as it was a few years ago, but with the evolution of these young kids that all come in, they picked up, 3 first-rounders last year through their academy, and they're all on those, locked in. There's a minimum of 3-year deals at the moment, but when they start to come out, they're going to have to try and find money. So you think, let's say Lukosius did leave, they could shuffle some of the money that he opens up, so let's say $800,000 a year, just as a ballpark, shuffle some of that money around, and then when they do need to re-sign those young kids, Mac Andrew, Matt Rowell in years to come, they'll have a bit more salary cap room to spend. So, yeah, they're not super tight as far as I read it. They've got Dan Rioli on the hook as well at Richmond. They'll be one to play out this postseason. But, yeah, I think clubs can always like to free up money if the player is not in their best 22 or is not knocking down the door for senior selection.
Now we're speaking with 7 News Melbourne chief footy reporter Mitch Cleary. Mitch, our unique homestyle food text machine has just been blowing up. I'm getting rumours on Zach Butters going to Melbourne, Dan Houston going to Melbourne, Miles Bergman going to Melbourne. Any of these got any sort of solid evidence behind it?
Well, the Houston one, it feels like all parties have got their head around the fact that he'll likely leave Port Adelaide. I think publicly people say that he's contracted at the Power. He could be a 2-time All-Australian. He's a leader. But I just think there's enough goodwill now around that one that there will be something happen, provided Melbourne stump up the picks for the Power. The other two, Bergman, I heard him speak recently saying he won't be going anywhere. I definitely watch him at the end of his next contract, but it sounds like he's pretty happy at the moment. And then Butters, well, he's got 2 years to run. Does he finish his career in Melbourne or a Victorian club? Potentially. But I couldn't see anything happening right now. He's pretty integral to what's going on at Melbourne.
He's only 23, so yeah, no, let's hope he's not going anywhere. That'd be great. What about Carlton and Essendon's drop? But look, Carlton's injury list is just that's crisis point, is it not?
Yeah, it's huge, and especially when Kerno and Mackay both missed. They've had a pretty good run in recent times with those guys getting on the park since Charlie's got his body right. They're going to be pretty skinny when they head over to West Coast this week against an Eagles side that'll have Andrew Gaff in his farewell. So plenty to play for West Coast, and we know that Carlton need to win both of their last games to be in consideration for finals. The big one is Andrew Russell. He's told the footy club that he doesn't want his contract renewed beyond this season, and he's going to part ways and look for time elsewhere. Hasn't had the best of run recently, but he has had some good success in getting Kerno back on the park, and I know a lot of the players love what he does down there at the Blues. And as for Essendon, well, gee, I don't know how much more their fans can take. Like, we know the finals win drought rolls on, and they find and invent new ways to lose games of footy, Tim. Like 1 goal 9 in the last quarter. Yeah, it feels like they need a change. And they need some sort of change, not in terms of personnel, but maybe a change of mindset. Feels like they've been doing the same thing for so long and getting the same results.
Brilliant stuff, mate. Really appreciate your time. Thanks for that.
Thanks, guys.
Mitch Cleary, 7 News Melbourne chief footy reporter, giving us all those details and maybe confirming a few rumours as well.
There's nothing he's not across, Mitch Cleary, that's for sure. We've got Conor Rozee, Port Adelaide captain, ahead of Showdown 56 to join us straight after we check your traffic. For Rossdale Homes, the custom home 2-storey split-level specialist.
Busy in a few spots at the drive home. Main North Road at Enfield, Paynham Road at Paynham getting quite busy, and a bit sluggish Unley Road at the Greenhill Road intersection. Works to look out for a Clapham, Springbank Road near Alberta Avenue, and down a 40 at Verdun, the freeway near the Verdun ramp. Cameras this afternoon, Main North Road, Elizabeth Park, and the North-South motorway at Waterloo Corner. People will buy whatever tyre name they remember, like my car, Avandra. Avandra, Avandra, Avandra. My car. People first. Avandra. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Catch Stacey Lee each week on 5AA Breakfast as she shares her views about what's going on in SA with David and Will. Thanks to Keen. It's time to start planning your 2025 classroom with Keen Education at keened.com.au.
Thank God you're here.
Thank God you're here.
Thank God you're here.
Why? What did I do?
Thank God You're Here is back. What'll happen when Australia's favourite stars go through the blue door? 7:30 tonight on 10 and 10 Play.
How to get Dad off-road with confidence and give him a shot at the ultimate Father's Day gift. Get into TJM and check out their Father's Day sale on now. You could win the old boy or yourself a trip for two to the NRL Grand Final in Sydney with flights, accommodation and an incredible game day experience. Spend $79 or more on TJM products at TJM Ranella or Nailsworth to go in the draw. Head in store now. T's and C's apply.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. Rush into National Tiles now for our famous spend and save. Spend $500 and we'll only charge you $400. Spend $1,000 and we'll only charge you $750. Or spend $2,000 and we'll only charge you $1,450. Or $4,000 and we'll only charge you $2,750. Yes, the more you spend, the more you'll save. But you'll have to be quick. So rush into National Tiles, spend and save now. Conditions apply.
Thanks to Solar Heart, smart savings are in the air and on your roof. By replacing your old water heater with a Solar Heart heat pump, you can create hot water out of thin air. And with our smart solar power systems and trusted Solar Heart warranties, you'll turn sunshine into savings for years to come. Right now, you'll also save $500 on any Solar Heart heat pump or solar power system 5 kilowatts and above. That's right, $500 off heat pumps and solar power. Get smart. Get Solar Heart. Terms and conditions apply.
Right now, the comfort of home and the safety of your family are more important than ever. Ken Hall Plumbers are here to help when you need us with essential plumbing, electrical and roofing services. Blocked toilet, no hot water, faulty gas heater or leaking roof. We'll take care of your home while you take care of your family. Working safely since 1983. Ken Hall Plumbers, 8364 5855.
Great choice, great savings. Now is the perfect time to buy a new caravan or motorhome from Canberra Agent RV Centre. With great deals and an extensive range from leading brands like Winnebago, Corrimal and Windsor, as well as a great selection of pre-owned products, we are a one-stop shop for caravans, campervans, motorhomes and more. So what are you waiting for? Visit Canberra Agent RV Centre Parafield Gardens to find the perfect RV for your next adventure.
What's better than getting a fourth tyre free when you buy 3 Bridgestone Ecopia fuel-saving tyres for your car or SUV? Saving money on every trip. Call Bridgestone Select Tyre and Auto on 131 229 and go with confidence. Conditions apply.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
13 minutes to 5. We've got Jimmy Bartel coming up after 5 o'clock. Where are they now as well? And if you want to head along to Showdown this Saturday, we'll stay listening. We have Showdown Locker Room double passes still to give away on the show. So get involved, 8223 0000. We'll take your calls as well shortly. Lines available.
Well, it's a massive showdown coming up this Saturday night. Port Adelaide taking on the Adelaide Crows. We've got the captain of Port Adelaide on the line, Conor Rozee. First of all, mate, congratulations. And I'm saying not the game. On what a massive year you've had so far. Captain, got engaged to Maisie, birth of baby daughter Audrey. Are you working on any other big projects?
He signed a 9-year contract, didn't
Oh,
he?
as well,
8 years
yeah.
or 15 years, whatever it was.
Yeah, so, wow.
Yeah, no,
Can you believe it, mate? It's only August.
It's been a bloody busy year so far, so hopefully we can cap it off with a flag would be nice.
And just on that, how's your routine changed? And did you have to sort of drop some habits, you know? Has your golf dropped away? What's going on?
Yeah, I actually got out for my first round this week since the little one was born, so
beautiful.
Had to build up the brownie points and fortunately got out back on the course.
Just whack her in the buggy, mate. You'll be fine.
Yeah, true. I might have to get one of those custom buggies for her.
So what's the course of choice?
A few of us are members of Glenelg, so we're usually there.
Beautiful, mate. And the grandparents loving it?
Yeah, they're loving it. We're in the in-laws at the moment, so they've been a big help actually, letting me get some sleep and play some good footy.
And Sue and Rob, they're loving it?
Yeah, the parents have been amazing. I think it's hard to raise a child without the help of friends and family. So both sides of the family have been amazing.
Yeah, your mum's a big fan of Timmy G's halftime highlights. You probably wouldn't have seen it, but
you're not missing much.
I sprint from the commentary box to run around to the southern stand to do it, and your mum often catches me, Timmy, gives me a big high five, and off we go again. So, she's a ripper, mate, and obviously that support is vital. So, hey, mate, we've been building up nicely over the last month.
Yeah, it's starting to come together a little bit. We sort of worked out what's made us a good football side, I guess, and that's coming back to what's made us a good side for the last couple of years, our pressure and keeping the ball in our front half for a bit longer and allowing us to get more opportunities at goal. So, it's nice to, I guess, get a good run at it and beat some good sides as well in the last month.
Speaking to a lot of footy fans during the week, Port fans, they say it was the best kick up the butt we've had against Brisbane. Does it feel like that? It just got you back to basics and doing the small things as opposed to sort of maybe just slipping a little?
Yeah, I think so. Sometimes you need that sort of reminder of what's important, and for us, that was probably our connection as a group. Probably wavered a little bit. During the middle of the season can be tough. The weeks can just roll through. So we got back to, I guess, just spending a bit more time with each other and celebrating each other more. And then that eventually leads into our energy and our overall performance. So, as I said before, we've sort of figured out what makes us a good side. And I guess the test now is to do that consistently for the last couple of games into our finals.
We touched on briefly the captaincy. Life changes when you become a captain. As I said, there's a lot of other things going on in your life. But 9 or 10 months since you're announced, what's been the most difficult challenge, or probably been the most rewarding challenge? It's just a couple of things that take us into the life of Conor Rozee, because a lot changes when you're named skipper.
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot of different things, I guess, you're not sort of expecting or ready for, and I guess learning to think about other people a lot more before my own performance, and sacrificing a bit more during the week and spending time getting to know the whole group, not just the small group of friends that we normally hang around. So, I guess the challenging part is when things aren't going as well, which is probably that month or so ago when our footy wasn't clicking, and maybe individuals in our group were a bit more internalised in how they were approaching during the week. And I guess the challenge as the captain is trying to get the best out of everyone, and everyone's slightly different, their personality's slightly different. So, Ken's been great in helping get through that.
It looks as though, too, that early on, I reckon, we were pushing up really high with our press. We might have just eased that back a bit, and because I don't think they're getting over the back of us as easy as they did in those early games.
Yeah, we certainly changed a few things structurally when the ball goes down the line, especially probably the Showdown was one of the main ones where they sort of got out the back of us and kicked a few easy goals, and that can be quite frustrating when the ball's in your half for a while and they go down and kick an easy one. So, there's certainly been a few small changes to that, and that seems to made a big difference.
And your midfield as such, it looks like you're all gelling and know your roles really well now. It just seems like that has really come to the fore.
Yeah, again, I think we've sort of figured out what we need to sacrifice of our own game to help each other out. And I guess as midfielders, we're all slightly different players. Willem is probably that team guy that helps shut down one of the opposition players. Zach likes to take the game on with his legs and feet, and Horny's great at stoppage and powerful. And I think that's what makes us a really good midfield, is just sort of someone's not going to have their day every week, but at least one or two will step up. So, it's been a really nice thing to have.
Everyone assumes from outside that you don't feel it like the fans do when you lose a Showdown. There's no doubt that is the case, isn't it, as a player? But we've lost the last three. What's the recipe or the key secret herbs and spices to get the job done this week?
Oh, I think it's what I've been saying. It's our pressure and our contest. They probably got a hold of us in the contest a little bit last time. So we need to take onus of that as midfielders. That's probably where the game's won or lost more than not for most games. So, it'll certainly start there. We know exactly what they're going to bring. They bring the same thing every time, and it's a good recipe with their pressure. So, yeah, again, it's a game that'll help us set us up for the rest of the season. But as players, we certainly feel the importance of a showdown for sure.
Now, I watched your press conference from earlier in the day. You got hammered about Jack Lukosius, who's your great mate, who was dropped out of the Gold Coast team. We have to ask, mate, surely you're twisting his arm.
Yeah, I'm trying my best at the moment. Trying to play that in-between captain of Port Adelaide role and good friend role. So I'm certainly putting in a few hard yards to try and get him across the line. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to his decision. I'm not going to push him too much in either direction. He's a great man, and he needs to do what's best for his footy career as well.
Yeah, good one, mate. Hey, on the back of the midfield, I thought the two young fellas on the wings are doing well. Burgoyne and that Boat kid. He's doing really well.
Yeah, he's aging like fine wine, Travis, and he's bringing along Jace with him. Jace has been great for most of this year so far. It's been great to see his growth, and Travis as well. Like you said, he's taken that wing role really well, being able to change positions a little bit the last couple of years and really taken it under his wing. So again, it's another example of people sacrificing a bit of their own game for the betterment of the team.
Has he forgiven both you and Zach for kicking him out of the centre square?
I haven't asked him directly, but probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother, mate. I wouldn't bother.
Get out there, veteran. Get on the outside.
Yeah, exactly. And Big Jordan Sweet, been impressed with him, and he works really hard. And if he's down in a half, he fights back in the second half, and really been impressed with him. He's got a big challenge against Big Rob O'Reilly, hasn't he?
Yeah, Sweetie's been great. He's had some big challenges the last few weeks actually, and he's really stood up for us. I guess he's that ruckman that sort of brings a bit of everything. It's not just a tap ruckman, but he's a really good runner and athlete, and I guess sort of that ruckman that plays as a bit of an extra midfielder sometimes. It's just sometimes what you need, and his growth again has been great this year, and it's great to see him have a lot of confidence, and hopefully he can back that up again this week.
Yeah, one bloke for the opposition that intrigues me, and matchup-wise, is Ben Keys. He's quite unusual as a player for the whole competition, but he's got that real running power that he's able to push blokes up and then get out the back and really take off. So he is a difficult one to match up on, I'd say.
Yeah, certainly his athletic ability is one of his biggest strengths. I feel like we've got a few boys that can probably match him in that area, so I'm sure they'll be playing a close eye to him. He's been in great form the last few weeks.
No, excellent, mate. Well, thanks for your time, buddy. Keep everything going. You're just ticking boxes galore. I reckon a fast start will be on the menu for Saturday night, mate, and all the best.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Well done. Conor Rozee, the Port Adelaide captain, our guest.
All right, stay tuned, because we have Showdown locker room tickets to give away after 5 o'clock, and Jimmy Bartel to join us soon as well.
Rowie and Timmy G on the FIVEAA Sports Show.
At Complete Care, we're more than just a care provider, we're a family. As we celebrate our 10th year, our mission remains the same, to empower our specialised team of carers and client service managers to help people living with a disability. We provide personalised services, including cleaning and home maintenance, to social support and transportation. We look after you like family, offering a warm, caring touch that sets us apart. At Complete Care, we're the company with heart. Complete Care, with a K.
If you're aged between 45 and 49, this news could save your life. You can now opt in to the National Bowel Cancer Screening Program and get a free test kit, which up to now only eligible Australians 50 to 74 could get. Bowel cancer is Australia's second deadliest cancer, but over 90% of cases are treatable if diagnosed early. So, start screening earlier. Search Australian Government Free Bowel Kit and order yours today. Brought to you by the Jodie Lee Bowel Cancer Foundation and the Government of South Australia.
How far would you go for your dream kitchen? And how far would you go to not deal with organising all the trades? How about 15 minutes up the freeway to Balhanna Kitchens by Design? To the largest showroom in the Adelaide Hills. Custom build your dream with our award-winning designers. Plus, we can manage the installation and all sub-trades at a fixed price. Balhanna Kitchens by Design. It's not too far to go to make your dream a reality. balhannakitchens.com.au.
The high-tech home of tomorrow has a new name. It's not Siri or Alexa. It goes by the name Jim. Add data, security and complete connectivity to your home with Jim's antennas and security. Ask Jim how security cameras and motion sensors can give you peace of mind. And keep an eye on your house, yard, cars and sheds. Jim can do top brand 4-camera systems from just $1,595. For a high-tech home, just ask Jim. Hey Jim. Jim'sAntennasandsecurity.com.au.
New Zealand. Spectacular, safe, friendly and the perfect getaway destination. Holiday Wonders offers the most value-packed 17-day fully inclusive Grand Pacific holiday package. Fly direct from Adelaide with Air New Zealand and tour both the North and South Islands with meals, accommodation and endless highlights. Enjoy over $1,000 per couple in bonus value and a $200 per person discount. Regular departures available from September 2024 to May 2025. Holidaywonders.com.au.
Hello, Cherry. I'm listening. At Southern Cherry, the Dreams Open event is on now. Tell me more. Of course. Score $3,000 cash back across the Tiggo 7 Pro and a Motor 5 SUV range now. Experience advanced technology, impressive comfort and seamless connectivity today. Learn more at Southern Cherry Morford Vale. Terms and conditions apply.
The news and information that matters. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Partly cloudy tonight, down to 13. Rain developing tomorrow, 24. With the 5 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
The Excelsior Hotel has always felt like home, with meals from just $12. Gotta love the Excelsior Hotel.
Police are hunting a man over a home invasion in broad daylight at Plympton. It happened on Glenburnie Terrace just before 1 yesterday afternoon. The homeowner confronted an intruder, the victim receiving minor injuries. The suspect did a runner. He's described as around 190 centimetres tall with a slim build. He was wearing a black and white bandana with skull teeth print and a navy blue hoodie with letters on the back. Investigations are continuing. Family and friends descended on the airport this afternoon to welcome a group of Adelaide-based Olympians home from Paris. Track cyclist Matt Glaetzer returned with 2 bronze. They're his first medals in 4 games.
Finally this time cracked it and was able to win with my teammates as well, which was great. And to win the final individual one at the end in a bit of a crazy fashion was pretty exciting, and super proud, super grateful that I'm in this position and that can take home some medals for Australia.
The state government will introduce legislation this year to make creating and distributing sexually explicit deepfakes a crime. Premier Peter Malinauskas says AI can be a force for good, but it can also be used for evil, and governments have a responsibility to act.
Our legislation will protect people. Indeed, it has the capacity to save lives. We know there have been publicly reported examples of young people tragically taking their own life where they have been the victim of the production and dissemination of a deepfake. So there is a problem here that we need to fix.
A discussion paper will also be released on what further reforms are needed. Well, the opposition is being accused of stoking division as it pushes for a visa ban for people fleeing Gaza. Michael Packey reports from Canberra.
Almost 3,000 Palestinians have been granted a temporary visa since the terror attacks against Israel in October last year. About 1,300 of those have made it to Australia. The others are still waiting to come in. Opposition leader Peter Dutton says they should be banned from entering the country, arguing many pose a security risk.
Does supporting a listed terrorist organisation like Hamas pass Australia's character test?
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has accused Mr Dutton of driving division.
We'll listen to the security agencies when it comes to national security.
The government says there's a rigorous vetting process, and so far 7,000 Palestinians have had their visa application rejected.
A gold nugget estimated to be worth up to $100,000 has been found in Ballarat. Luke Phillips made the discovery with a metal detector in the bush back in May, where it was hidden under 3 feet of dirt. The nugget weighed in at just under 28 ounces, 21 ounces of which was gold. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Collect the new shrouded Fable Pokemon trading cards at Sports Card World, Regent Arcade, Rundle Mall.
Training for Port tonight ahead of Saturday's Showdown. It'll be an open session at Alberton from 6:15. Captain Conor Rozee wants to keep the momentum of the past few weeks going.
I guess the sides we've come up against are definitely no easy beats, and they've been up there through the best part of this season, Sydney and Carlton and Melbourne, and I feel like things are starting to click, and we've sort of figured out what our best brand of football is and how we can get the best out of our core group. We've been pretty fortunate with injuries and that sort of stuff, and sometimes it can come down to peaking at the right time.
Simon Goodwin is defending the culture of Melbourne. As he declared, both Christian Petrarca and Clayton Oliver will be at the club next year. Petrarca, who's contracted until 2029, has voiced his concerns about the direction the Demons are heading. Goodwin says it's been a good thing the football department is being challenged.
People seem to parcel frustrations and tension up as a negative. It's actually a positive. And you'd be surprised if you walk into an environment of a footy club. These conversations happen weekly.
While Clayton Oliver won't play again this year after having hand surgery this week. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Aged 45 to 49, search Australian Government free bowel screening kit and order yours today.
Busy in a few spots of the drive home at the moment. Port Rush Road at Toorak Gardens, also South Road at Mile End, both directions, and pretty sluggish too. Marion Road at the Anzac Highway intersection. Got a burst water main at Paraka, Bridge Road near Hazel Street, and a camera at Target Hill Road at Salisbury Heights. More Book Week magic for less at Big W. Celebrate Book Week with the kids' favourite characters on colourful T-shirts. Only $10 each. Get more for less at Big W. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA weather.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Down to 13 tonight, rain developing tomorrow 24, Friday showers and 16, Saturday showers easing 17. Right now it's 22 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, our special investigation into a multi-million-dollar solar scam, ripping off hard-working Aussies. Online deep fakes, the new move to protect you and your family. We'll have every golden moment as our Olympic heroes touch down from Paris. And another Crows Showdown hurdle. Riley Thilthorpe leaves training early. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and 9 now.
In Adelaide and across South Australia, this is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
6 after 5, Tredders sitting in for Rowie this week. Where Are They Now is coming up this hour with an Olympic gold medalist and a hero of our 2000 Sydney Games. We have a Showdown locker room double pass still to give away, and your calls 8223 0000. Please get involved. We have lines available. Love your interaction. All thanks to Statesman Windows right now, Adelaide's most trusted boutique window company. They're SA family owned and operated since 1980. It's time to welcome in
Bartel check signs it brilliantly.
He can do it all, James Bartel.
He's my Bravo man.
Jimmy Bartel on the 5AA Sports Show.
Well, each and every week we get Jimmy, thanks to Statesman Windows. It's always an exciting chat, Tredders. And, you know, a lot of people say he makes sense, which I think it's a nice change.
Yeah, I think
on the
he
show.
has. Well, Rowie's away, so we've got to bring it up a level or two.
I love it. Hey, Jimmy, how are you?
Good, fellas. Yourself?
Yeah, good. There's a big showdown in town here. Of course, it goes off, but both teams are a little different. Port Adelaide fell in against the D's, but it's a very important win, and the Crows were absolutely outstanding against the Bulldogs.
They were, and aren't all showdowns important? It doesn't matter where you guys are on the ladder.
Correct.
It's one game. It's one game every year that I make sure, well, when they even play it twice, but I make sure I tune in and watch it, and it's still got me a little bit miffed why it's not a standalone game yet. I don't know whether the powers to be at Adelaide and Port Adelaide haven't lobbied the AFL hard enough yet, but this game should be either on its own early in the year on a Thursday night or a Friday night, or find it a time slot where it sits by itself, because your record speaks for itself. Like the amount of times you guys have played, what's it separated by? 1, 2 ever?
One.
At max? One.
Yeah,
back
one
to one
game.
again. So it's a fantastic game, and I love the theatre of it as well. But just going to your Crows, it's hard to get a read on. I sort of watched that game against the Bulldogs, and you're happy because you love seeing big fog, kick five, and you play with some speed and dare. And then there's a little bit of an element scratching your head going, well, why now? Like, why are we producing this sort of footy? So it'd be fascinating to know what in general Crows fans would think.
Well, they think they put their best side out in the park probably all year, and that came from injuries, suspensions and the like. When Rankin's in there, obviously it's a different looking side. Riley Thilthorpe has really added some real grunt down up front for him. So without Tex, though, this week, he had a nasty poke in the eye, so he's going to have to miss at least one, but it's still a potent forward line, and they're very efficient inside.
Yeah, they were, and I was just looking at some numbers today and a bit of preparation for footy this weekend, and the Crows sides that were high scoring compared to this year, I think the Crows are number 2 for using the boundary coming through the midfield, which is a bit surprising. But you look at the power, and they're definitely a corridor, metres gained, territory side, and that's off the back too of, I think, the return to form of Aaliyah. I think that's gone a little bit unnoticed. He's actually playing pretty well in one-on-one contests, which at times he tends to drift off a little bit too far and just want to mark everything. But he's back to sort of getting his distance right, which if your defence is good, then you can take the ball through the middle with a little bit more confidence.
Yeah, and I also think too, he might have been a former teammate of yours, Radaglia, at the time. I'm not sure if he was still playing when you were there. But he went forward. Let's release Bergman to be that third tall runoff. So they've got an extra runner down there. Port look a bit more settled with those two talls in terms of Zerk Thatcher and Aaliyah, and it's probably, as you said, helped Aaliyah deliver his best form.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And maybe the extra responsibility for Bergman, but where I thought they were getting done early in the year when they had all three big backs, Zerk Thatcher, Aaliyah and Radaglia, was ground balls inside your back 50. Sides were sort of just as long as we get the ground on those three, we can score and we can move. And so those three were all just expecting long high balls. They weren't coming in that sort of manner. So then they were getting opened up. And I think we spoke about last week, the fact that Radaglia is showing a little bit forward means you can genuinely just run with the one ruck, and now you've got a guy who can be a backup ruck, he can be a key forward, or if need be, swinging back again.
Yeah, and also too with Bergman, Georgiadis, doubtful whether he'll play, and Marshall being subbed out with concussion, won't play this week. Who do you like if you had to tip, Jimmy?
I think I'd still tip Port.
Good man. Smart call.
I just think that their midfield scores, and there's an interesting stat I was looking at today, but it's more reflective of what we've spoken about throughout the year, is when Adelaide lose the scores from stoppage, they lose the game. When they win it, they win the game. So it's a very simple win-loss stat that hurts them or benefits them. And I think when you got Horn, Francis, Butters, Rozee, even Willem Drew again, those types who like to try and attack and get on the move through stoppage, I think there's opportunities for Port to really score heavily from stoppage, which, as I'm just pointing out, that hurts Adelaide and makes it difficult for them to win.
We'll head back over to Melbourne now, and the Melbourne Footy Club looks like there's plenty going on. Neil Bullen wants to return to South Australia for family reasons, has put in a trade request before the season's finished. I assume that's because the story was breaking. We know the questions around Clayton Oliver, Petrarca, seems as if he's not happy. What do you reckon happens at Deesland, and what do you think you need to do to restore a bit of peace? Because it seems like things aren't all so rosy.
Yeah, I know the word Tredders review gets often looked at in a negative connotation, but I think they need a review which you can all flesh out. All right, where are we all at? Let's lay it all on the table. Where do we need to improve? The senior boys, what are you seeing that's slipping? What do we need to address? How do we make you happy, but how can we challenge you as well? And I think it feels like, just from an outsider looking in, there's so many little parties moving in different directions at the moment because, as you highlighted, the rumours getting out about Petrarca and people close to him, he's not happy. Then they've had to come out and knock it on the head. Obviously, you want to get Clayton Oliver in a great place both on and off the field. Neil Bullen's leaving, which is a senior player who'd committed for a couple of years, and now he wants to go home, of course, family reasons, but, he still wants out of your club. So I think you just need to get all the key people in the room. You decide whether you need to make changes as far as leadership at the club, or you maintain everybody in their same place, or do they need a different role? So I think you just need to get to the bottom of things, and sometimes it's simply just asking people and hitting them straight between the eyes, like, what's going on here? Because it's not reading well for Gary Pearce comments in the pre-season saying, hey, we've got the best culture I've ever seen in 40 years of football.
Yeah, that one might come back to bite.
Yeah.
Some of the other teams, your mob, GWS, what a winning streak. They're just flying. Hawks have won 4 of their last 5. It's hard to get a read on who's probably the form side coming into what is the vital 2 weeks, which can really shape the whole 8 itself.
Yeah, it's fascinating. The 3 big Melbourne power clubs were in the top 4, and now they're all outside the 8 about 6 weeks later. It's so difficult to get a read on. I think we always say injuries play a factor, but I think this year more than any other year it will, and it's which players you lose with injury. Like Tredders, you know, when Port were flying, like you never missed, the Corns has never missed, like all your key players never missed. Like you'd still get injuries, but you didn't really lose the key blokes. And you look at Richmond when they won their 3 flags, Cochin, Rewalt, Martin, those guys never missed during that period of footy. I know when we were going okay at the Cats, you know, myself, Gaz, Joel Corey, Scarlett weren't missing. So you can have injuries, but you can't have them to the key players.
Well, Carlton's got that, haven't they? They're in probably an injury crisis right now.
They are, but they were on a bit of a slide anyway with their form, and there's some glaring things where I reckon they need to actually have a real good assessment of the style of footy they want to play. Like, they're scoring well from stoppage, but then they're also in the bottom 2 or 3 are getting scored against. So they're getting opened up on transition, and that's what the comments, and it was amazing that Josh Weddle from Hawthorn said post-game, we just wanted to get out and get the game running because we knew they couldn't keep up. So if the opposition thinks, well, if you take care of Cripps on the inside, he's still going to win his footy, but just get him quick kicking, we can open up Carlton on the outside.
Who do you like right now? If you had to put a tip on who wins the flag, could you go, like Sydney looks like maybe that win against Collingwood might turn the corner. Port a month ago, we looked like we're in all sorts. Now we've put together some form. You mentioned the Giants going well. Brisbane probably had a setback. Probably should have been 5 goals up against your mob last week early, but didn't. The Dogs were on an unbelievable run, but then Adelaide touched them up. Who do you reckon is the team right now, even though it's probably going to change in a couple of weeks' time?
Yeah, that's a good thing about doing your tips this year, isn't it? Whoever your premiership favourite, you could probably get away with changing it in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I still think the Lions are pretty good. They're deep. They've got a dynamic forward line. Rayner is playing at a new level. If he can maintain that, that means we're seeing Charlie Cameron come up the ground. Lockie Neal's in blistering form. Dunkley, the big Oscar McInerney's playing really good in the ruck. So I think Brisbane, just because of the way they're going, the Swans, Brisbane and the Swans, I reckon, are the 2 best. And then you've probably got the Dogs just back from that, even though the Crows gave them a little bit of a licking on the weekend.
Hey, Jimmy, Alex Neil-Bullen, he's said that he wants to come back to Adelaide, so they'll start searching for that club. Which club do you think perhaps requires his services more?
Well, I think he plays the Melbourne role at Port Adelaide, but I think he can play more midfield minutes at the Crows. That's just off the top of my head. Like that role for Port Adelaide, which I said he plays similar to Melbourne, is that high half forward, comes up the stoppage. He becomes a bit of your transition player. He can take care of the front of the stoppage for you, but be that real link and overlap, because you don't really need to use him as a tagger because you've got Willem Drew taking the opposition's best. He can also play on the opposition's best small defender, which is now a real attacking weapon. So I could see him fitting on the half forward line for the pair. But for the Crows, he'd probably come through the midfield just a little bit more and try and be that breakaway player through the front of stoppage.
All right, one of your great mates and a former he's a triple premiership star. Didn't play in all the 3 with you, but Tommy Hawkins announcing his retirement. Do you reckon he gets back in?
I think he does, and I think the thing he's got on his side is he's had a couple of years where he's pretty much missed of all pre-season, then he's played round 1 and played pretty well. So, I think he's got credits in the bank. I think coaches work out pretty quickly guys who play well straight up or can play with injury. I had teammates who, if they had any niggle injury, they were gone because they just couldn't get it out of their head. And then there was guys that go, yeah, I'm injured, that's okay, we'll deal with it during the week. And we all know different personalities respond differently to injury. I think Hawk's the type of player who responds pretty well being slightly underdone.
Excellent work, mate. Once again, thank you very much for your time. I'm reading, I've got a book that's being released called AFL, VFL Immortals. Didn't see your name in it. Pretty disappointed.
Oh, no, a long way off a lot of those guys. I was just happy to play my part.
So what'd you do? Only a Norm Smith, only a Brownlow, only 3 flags and 300 games, yeah?
Yeah, don't give it away, because that was what I lent on, is just deception. Just, socks down, jumper out, sort of walk with my shoulders down. Hope the opposition just wouldn't pay any attention to me, and sort of got away with it for 15 years.
Is that what that beard was at that stage? Was that incognito?
No. Well, it's funny. I shaved the morning of a game and it just reappeared. It's definitely a strength of mine growing facial hair.
We love your time, mate. Really appreciate it. That's Jimmy Bartel. Cheers, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
All thanks to Statesman Windows, Adelaide's boutique window company, trusted by the best builders in Adelaide. And just like Jimmy, they are elite performers, consistently delivering at the highest level. Need the best windows? See Statesman Windows.
Gee, you do that well, Timmy. It's 19 after 5. Let's do this.
Timmy G!
Let's get you off to the Showdown in a FIVEAA locker room. This is the place to be. We've got a double pass, and all you have to do is play Timmy G's quiz. 8223 0055. Punch that number into your phone, and we'll play straight after we check your roads.
Go there at Paraka Burst Waterway, slowing things up for the drive home. Bridge Road near Hazel Street. Busy. South Road, Theberton. Slow going. Tapley's Hill Road at Glenorg North. And getting busy. South Road at Theberton, both directions. Got speeds at 40 at the moment at Harndorf, the freeway near River Road, and at Canberra this afternoon. Robinson Road at Waterloo Corner. Right now, when you buy a new or demo Ford Transit or Transit Custom, you'll get an amazing service offer at no extra cost. E-Transit excluded. See your Ford dealer now for full terms and exclusions. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G.
David and Will's Undie Drive has wrapped up for another year, and South Australia has once again smashed it out of the park.
$68,845. Raised by you.
The funds raised will assist Hutt Street Centre and Catherine House to do the much-needed work they do in our community.
Chris Burns, the CEO of Hutt Street Centre, and J. Lee Cooper from Catherine House.
Absolutely unbelievable. Thank you so much.
That leaves money now to buy food.
5AA wish to thank the businesses and listeners who kindly donated to David and Will's Undie Drive.
We'll be back here again next year, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
AutoCam. Look, this is real cutting-edge stuff.
AutoCam. It's new from Automasters.
Real-time video with a real-time report on my car.
Real-time video sent direct to you from your Automasters technician.
Check this out. There's the problem, there's the quote, and here you go, approved.
So good. Totally transparent instant SMS approval and Automasters pay later options.
AutoCam. The future of vehicle servicing, here now. Call 1300 Automasters.
Mario Mayola Promotions and 5AA present Hooked on Swing, starring vocal sensation Kate Black, the Three Little Sisters, and crooner Chris Lloyds, together with the Boogie Woogie Big Band and Swing Dancers. Come hear the music of Benny Goodman, Cab Calloway, Billie Holiday, the Andrews Sisters, Glenn Miller, Nina Simone, and more. Hooked on Swing, Festival Theatre, Wednesday, October 2nd. Book now at Ticketek.
Hi, Tom Burlinson here, inviting you to a celebration of swing.
Somewhere beyond the sea.
The greatest songs of the style, all performed live with my swinging band.
It's up to you, New York.
Tom Burlinson and his big band still swinging at the Capri Theatre November 8. One show only, book now. capri.org.au.
Hi, Brett Ebert here from Mawson Lakes Mazda. There's a lot to like about Mawson Lakes Mazda. They'll take care of you with next day servicing, complimentary loan car, vacuum and wash, and your breakfast or lunch is on them. Your car gets the love too with their state-of-the-art service centre, brimming with top-trained mechanics. At Mawson Lakes Mazda, they'll look after your car and look after you. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
Thank God you're here.
Thank God you're here.
Thank God you're here.
Why? What did I do?
Thank God You're Here is back. What'll happen when Australia's favourite stars go through the blue door? 7:30 tonight on 10 and 10 Play.
Home is where the heart is. Everyone deserves to live in their home in complete comfort. For those who need care support to remain at home, Always Care is always there. Providing everything from nursing and medical treatment to personal care, such as showering, cleaning or cooking. If you or a loved one requires at-home care and has a gold or white DVA card, ask your GP about Always Care. Find out more at alwayscare.com.au.
Check this out.
Real-time video with a real-time report on my car.
There's the problem, there's the quote, and here you go, approved.
So good. Totally transparent instant SMS approval and Automasters pay later options.
AutoCan, new from Automasters.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rozee and Timmy G.
Tredders sitting in for Rozee, who's away for the next week and a half. And we have Where Are They Now coming up very shortly as well at 5:30, so stay listening for our Olympic Where Are They Now. But right now we want to get you to the locker room.
Timmy G!
Yes, we do. It's going to be a fantastic... Well, these are much sought after tickets. 5AA locker room. 2 tickets. What do you get, Tredders? What do you get in there?
You get absolutely everything. You throw me straight under a bus. Lucky I got my sheet here. Ticket to the Riverbank stand in the level 1 pre-game dinner box, halftime Balfours, footy, fair and mini desserts, continuous 5-hour beverage package.
Yeah, well played.
Can I have
mate.
a weekend off?
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
I'll just go. I'll do a deal.
Yeah.
Listener can call the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Got to be a poor listener.
Oh,
and then
so
I'll just
you're swapping.
snout in the trough.
Yeah.
Because I know the answer to your question too, so I can answer it well.
Don't think the boss will like that. Let's go to Largs North. G'day, Mick.
How are you guys?
All right, buddy, here it is. Who am I? I'm an All-Australian. My brother and I are one of 4 sets of brothers to play in Showdowns. I won a Showdown medal in a very unique scenario. Who am I?
Gosh.
Brett James.
Good call, though.
sorry.
Good call, Mick. I like that. Let's go to Dave at Hillcrest. G'day, Dave.
Yeah, g'day. How you doing?
Do you know who I am?
Is it Peter Burgoyne?
David. Let's go to Andrew. Hello, Andrew.
Oh, geez, I was going to say Peter Burgoyne. So, for brothers.
Yeah, there they are. That's right. There's lots of sets of brothers, but Peter Burgoyne's not the right answer.
No.
It's not Peter Burgoyne at all.
No, guys, I've got to give up. I'll just say I don't know, Tyson Edwards.
Okay, thanks, Andrew. Let's go to Amy. G'day, Amy.
Hello.
Who do you think it is?
Bond. The Bond brothers.
It's only one brother. Okay, so it's one brother. So it's not both brothers, it's one brother.
individual.
And he won this Showdown medal in a very unique scenario. Sam Woodville, do you know who it is?
Would it be Chad Corns?
No. Michael, have you been listening in?
I have been listening in.
I'm going to have to...
Oh, goodness. I'm going to have to say... Let's go to Josh Franco.
He's not no, his brother didn't play.
So do you want to go through the clues again, Tim?
Okay, so Brad, I'm an All-Australian. My brother and I are one set of 4 sets of brothers to play in Showdown, so there was lots of sets of brothers. I won a Showdown medal in a very unique scenario.
Yeah, mate. I'll go Darryl Wakeman.
At least it was a twin, but his
Timmy,
twin didn't play.
Can I help you? The 4 sets of brothers to play in Showdowns. The Bond brothers, the Corns brothers, the Burgoyne brothers, the Crouch brothers. I'm meaning brothers, that's plural, so there's 2 of each, at least.
Yeah, okay, Kim.
Sean Bancorn.
Sean Burger! Well done, Kim. The other clue was I played 407 AFL games. That would have given it away. But well done. The unique scenario he won his Showdown medal was he shared it with Simon Goodwin. So, Kim, congratulations. You are going to the locker room, but who are you taking with you? Because it's 2 locker room tickets.
Oh, my son.
Oh, well done. He'll be over the moon. Well done, Kim. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Excellent stuff. Boys, on the Unique Homestyle Food text, and I got an email to top it up as well, there's a very big event happening this weekend.
Is it Showdown?
What is
It is Showdown.
Yeah, who?
But before it, a guy called Kim Rashid will play his 500th game.
Oh, wow.
Who for? Well, he's playing in the Adelaide Footy League. He's played 16 games for the Western Warriors, 17 games for Payneham Norwood, 34 games for Burnside Kensington.
You said 500, yeah?
61 for Fitzroy. Cedars 94. Don't know who Cedars are. Never heard of Cedars.
No.
But 277 for the Rosewater Football Club, and he does that again this weekend to top up his 500.
Jeez, he's got around to some clubs. There's not too much loyalty there apart from the 210 years of football.
Well, he's settled down at
Rosie's.
Rosewater for the last 278 of them. So an outstanding performance to Kim Rashid. Know the family well.
Rashid?
People will remember.
What, Taff or Roger Rashid relation?
Definitely related.
Yeah.
But his father owned a deli on Hanson Road.
Is that the old port sponsor?
And they won what we used to have the major sponsor raffle in the 90s.
Yeah.
And in 1995, Rashid's
You probably need to explain
won.
how this works. So you'd sell tickets for
X
X amount of money.
It was like a raffle
200,
ticket.
500 bucks. So
$250.
businesses could buy it, and then
Correct.
if you won the raffle, you were a major sponsor.
Which was back in the day worth about 50 grand.
Genius.
So it was absolutely brilliant, and it was always a big night and all the rest of it. So Rashid's Deli won it, and we won the flag in 95. So they're a Premiership Guernsey as well. So Kim Rashid, outstanding performance, mate. 500 games, and I love it. This is from his mate Samir, who's wrapped him up here and said, how wonderful it is and the like. And then he said, and if we are extremely lucky, we may even see a once-in-a-lifetime handball from Kim this weekend.
Oh, he's not one of them, is he? Is he one of them? Greedy.
Yeah, well, he's kicked a lot of goals, put it that way.
That's greedy.
Very, very good. Hey,
Lots
it's
of U-turns.
5:30. We've got the headlines coming up. And then where are they now next?
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Good evening, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. A homeowner at Plympton has been injured during a home invasion. Too much screen time is being blamed for disappointing NAPLAN test results. The state government will introduce legislation to make creating and distributing sexually explicit deepfakes a crime. And in sport, the Crows trained today ahead of Showdown 56. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Aged 45 to 49, search Australian Government free bowel screening kit and order yours today.
Quite busy for the drive home. Green Hill Road at Wayville, also South Road at Hilton, busy both directions, and super sluggish at the moment, Portrush Road, Toorak Gardens, as you're heading towards the freeway. Slow for works at Cravers West, Waverley Ridge Road near the roundabouts, and cameras this afternoon, Robinson Road, Waterloo Corner, and 7 Heath Road at Edinburgh North. Make the most of Volkswagen's Ultimate Amarok sale event in the Amarok Core from $56,990. Drive away with a free 5-year care plan. Ends September 30. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, partly cloudy tonight down to 13, rain developing tomorrow 24. Right now it's 20. We'll have more news at 6 and as it happens on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
David, I want you to turn into the David Spears whisperer for a moment because everyone's wondering what his next move in politics is going to be.
This risks looking like a very vain hair-twirling exercise. Oh, will he or won't he? That nobody in the general community with half a brain is even remotely interested in.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
There needs to be some people with their big boy pants on because the party cannot afford to lose another person to the crossbench.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA, always Adelaide.
When you book a hearing test with Can Do Hearing, you'll be seen by an accredited audiologist. Can Do Hearing is South Australian, and we're not owned by a hearing aid manufacturer. This means we only recommend what's going to work for you, and your options are almost endless. Plus the extra bonus, our profits go to Can Do for Kids, supporting local kids living with hearing and vision loss. Book an appointment with Can Do Hearing today. CanDoHearing.com.au. That sounds better.
Simplicity Funerals make funeral planning the way it should be. Simple. With our easy and straightforward packages, it has never been simpler to organise a respectful funeral. Visit simplicityfunerals.com.au or call us 24/7 to get started today.
It's showtime at Wayville Hyundai. The best time to get your car serviced with free parking, complimentary $25 food and drink coupon, and a free car wash and vacuum. Change the way you Hyundai at Wayville Hyundai, opposite the showground.
Living with diabetes? Ditch finger pricks with Freestyle Libre. Freestyle Libre is a small wearable sensor that monitors your glucose levels and trends and sends them straight to your phone. Instant, up-to-date feedback. No finger pricks. How good is that? And you can trial Freestyle Libre for only $15. Just head to freestylelibre.com.au to find out how. T's and C's apply. Follow directions for use. Read warnings before purchase. Free yourself from finger pricks with Freestyle Libre.
Everybody knows Right Price are the heating and cooling experts. So imagine how much you can save when they join forces with EcoVantage, the incentive experts. Together with Right Price, EcoVantage will help you source all the government incentives you're entitled to when it comes to heating and cooling your home, including energy-efficient heat pump hot water systems. Right Price and EcoVantage, the best of both worlds when it comes to heating, cooling and government incentives.
Ignition for Men. Adelaide's home of luxury menswear offer an impeccable range of suits by leading Italian brands, including tailor-made wedding packages for the groom and groomsmen. Order 3 tailor-made suits and pay just $799 for each. Order 4 or more for just $749 each. Phenomenal value for a quality tailor-made suit. See Ignition for Men for tailor-made wedding packages. 54 Paynham Road, Stepney. ignitionformen.com.au. T's and C's apply.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sport Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
26 minutes to 6. Loving your calls on the show, 8223 0000. We'll get to them shortly. $50 Powers voucher still to give away. We're going to talk about Immortals of Australian Footy soon with Andrew Clark. He's got a new book, and that is a very exciting one to read as well. If you see the cover, it looks like it's got plenty of great stories to read. And we have a little bit of an exciting announcement to make later in the show as well. So stay tuned for all of that. But of course, right now, it's time for Where Are They Now? Thanks to Walco, again at the centre of SA's biggest cover-up. Get your Walco Guardian pool cover today.
The 5AA Sport Show's Where Are They Now? Past legends, past glories.
Well, I'll tell you what, this Olympic champion went to 5 Olympics. I'll tell you what, you're no slouch if you can do that, all the way from 96 in Atlanta and finished in London 2012. Won a bronze medal, won a gold medal, won a bronze at the World Championships. In the Federation Internationale de Volleyball's Team of the Decade. How did I go there with my accent? Pretty good work, I reckon. We welcome Nat Cook. G'day, Nat.
I love the accent. I've always struggled about how to say it. So, Fédération d'Internationale de Volleyball. So
correct.
Which means you're pretty good at it.
Yeah, you're bloody good, mate. Well done. Hey, thanks for coming on, first of all. We always like to know, where are they now? Where are you at this very minute?
Well, actually, I'm in Switzerland on the lake, right next door to the Federation of International Volleyball. Would you believe?
Just admiring your picture in the Team of the Decade.
Well, I think it's a bit tilted. There's a bit of dust on it, but that's all right. It is in the hallway, and it's very important. But after 2 weeks in Paris, Switzerland's where I've escaped for a holiday, and then I go to Austria next week and then back for the Paralympics, because I've never seen a Paralympic Games live and I want to see how Paris does that. So that's exactly where I am right now.
Oh, that'll be cool. Gee, I tell you what, the hills are alive then. If you're going to Austria, that'll be good fun, eh, mate? Let's go right back. Why did you take it up? What got you into beach volleyball?
Well, I really did love all sports as a kid. My dad played semi-professional football for Crystal Palace. He's from England. Wow. And my mum was a swimmer. And so, born in Townsville, I started swimming because it's so hot up there. I was in the Laurie Lawrence and Vince Raleigh. Now, Vince Raleigh coached Zach Stubbledy Cook to his gold and silver medal. And I was in that swim school. Now, they are tough as nails coaches, and all it did was make me want to quit swimming. So there you go. I quit swimming. I either wasn't fast enough or I hated the black line, and we moved to Brisbane, and I really decided that I would try every sport, from BMX to skateboarding to taekwondo to golf to tennis.
Wow.
I did everything, trying to find the sport that I would go to the Olympics in, because I saw Lisa Curry swim the 100 metres freestyle in the 1982 Commonwealth Games, and I said, I want to do that. So so the reason it happened, there was a notice on the school notice board at Corinda High when I was in grade 9 that said volleyball trip to Canada and America.
Oh, really?
And that was it. I wanted to go to Disneyland, and I thought volleyball was the way I was going to get there, and the rest is history.
And when you say volleyball, was it just normal volleyball? Was it beach volleyball, or did it evolve into beach volleyball?
It started as the traditional indoor volleyball at school. Not many schools these days still, there's not many that do beach volleyball because there's only 2 aside and the PE teachers like to put 6 aside on the indoor court. So I started in indoor, and then in 1993, we are talking about how old I am now, they announced beach volleyball. First of all, they announced the Sydney Olympics in 2000, and then they announced beach volleyball in the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta for its first time. And that's when I made the switch. I was sort of targeted or hunted by one of the good beach volleyballers at the time, and she said, come across to beach volleyball and we'll try and make it to the Atlanta Olympics. And that's what happened. And
obviously a wonderful partnership with Kerry Potas, where you've obviously won gold and then won bronze in Atlanta in 96, and Sydney obviously winning gold. But how did that relationship in terms of partnership kick off? Because it was wonderfully successful. Did it just sink to start with? It was a lot of hard work.
No, it's a lot of hard work, and my first beach volleyball partner was Anita Palm, and she ended up going to the 96 Olympics as well with Leanne Fenwick, and Kerry Potas and I were the second team, well, maybe the first in the ranking, but there were 2 teams. So it didn't go the way that I started. Anita and I were supposed to be the team that went, and beach volleyball, very early days, very beginnings, not really professional at that point. We won a water bottle and a hat every time we won. And I'd come home to Dad. You know, I was playing golf alongside Kari Webb. She's from Ayr. My mum was born in Ayr. Wow. All of that was going swimmingly, and Dad thought I was going to be a pro golfer and win all this money. And then I came home and said, Dad, I've picked volleyball and I've picked beach volleyball, and here's my 55th water bottle and my 55th hat, and we're going to get rich. So he wasn't too impressed, and but what happened, we would play against Kerry Pothast, and then because there's only a few of us playing at the time, we're really pioneering. I sort of thought maybe Kerry and I would be better together. We were both tall. We thought our partnership might evolve, and we worked on it really hard, and we ended up coming third in our first Olympic Games. So two Brazilian teams. Brazil came first and second. We came third, and ironically, they were both in Paris celebrating as well. So we all had a bit of a reunion.
Oh, fantastic. Evolving in, after you won that bronze, I was interested to read that you and Kerry actually broke up for a short time and then got back together a year before that famous Sydney Olympic gold. What was the moment in time there?
Well, we were fighting, it didn't go to plan. There's only, it's a great, you talked about how the partnership evolves. It's easy when you're winning, right? Yeah. Everyone's high-fiving, bit of a bump slap, bit of a high-five. And then when it goes pear-shaped and when you're not winning and there's only 2 of you on the court, you're like, well, whose fault is it? And human nature tends to point the finger at someone else. So I blame Kerry and she blamed me. And we couldn't come to an agreement, so we split up. So when you come third at the Olympics, you think, oh, we'll just train hard and we'll get second, and then we'll train hard and we'll get first. But what happened is we went backwards quite quickly. We had a few injuries, and so we decided we'd be better off without each other. But absence makes the heart grow fonder. So when we split up, found new partners, and it wasn't quite as rosy as we thought it might be, and we realised we were the best together, we came back together with the final attack on the Sydney Games, and both being on the same page, having the same purpose, understanding each other's differences and being okay with them rather than blaming each other, really led to us solidifying our partnership to be ready to take on the Brazilian team again, a different one, but Brazil, very strong culture in beach volleyball. We were ready to withstand their assault on us, because obviously we're both trying to win. And we just had, we had a better belief and a better system in place for Sydney.
I was a lucky person to be going to the games. I watched some athletics, and I remember watching you win gold on the big screen on the old Channel 7. But what was it like as an athlete in your home country, winning gold, and how has that changed life for you?
Yeah, well, usually we're playing in Brazil where it's a big sport, or the US, or travelling through Europe. We're on court number 59 out the back, and, you know, there's a dog that walks past and someone claps at something, and there's nothing really going on. No one cares you're out there, and then all of a sudden you're on Bondi Beach in front of 10,000 Aussies. Yeah. And we've got, you know, we're in the final, so there's a chance of winning a gold medal here. And the crowd was just electric. To have the famous chant, are you ready, boys? Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Yeah.
Oi, oi, oi.
Yeah, we thought through a lot, didn't we?
Good. That's right. So when you have that, it lifts you. Again, when you win a point, it's awesome. You're flying on cloud nine. But when you lose a point, to have 10,000 Aussies go, ooh, like that's something you got to get over as well. So fantastic to have friends and family. We'd talk through the pressure of what that might do. But the reason you saw it on the big screen is because we were famous for 4 hours because the athletics, the great Catherine Freeman, ran after us, and everyone seems to have been watching us as a warm-up to the great 400-metre race. So everyone got to see it, which was awesome.
Well, Nat, a good friend of mine, I woke up after the opening ceremony in Sydney, and I turned my telly on because I thought, I'm wondering what my good friend was going to be doing as far as calling what sport. And he didn't, you know, he was reasonably new. He didn't think he'd, maybe get anything. But I woke up on the morning and watched your first game, and my good friend Chris Dittmar calling it. He called you guys to that gold medal. Have you gone back and watched it and reminisced on it at all?
Yeah, I do a lot of corporate speaking now, and so when I get up on stage, the video plays of the last 90 seconds, and it's Chris's voice saying, you know, Potthast back to serve, and, he starts commentating on everything. So I hear it. It's gold to Australia, the famous call. I hear it probably once a week, and it never gets old. Let me tell you, 24 years later, it never gets old. And I've bumped into Chris a few times, and, we have a bit of an embrace, and we start, reminiscing. And, I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Those moments. We've just seen amazing moments in Paris, and they live on forever.
Don't they? I was wondering, you're now on the board of the Olympic and Paralympic Games for Brisbane 2032. I'm wondering, you guys didn't get your sport in until 96. How much lobbying and how much hard work is there prior to try and get your sport into the Olympics? And will you be looking at people doing that for Brisbane?
Absolutely. I don't think I appreciated at the time the effort that it took to get it in there. I seemed to be the athlete in the right place at the right time to benefit from that happening. But what's going on now with 8 years to go is all of the sports that want to put their hand up, and I'm sure there's some that have already started to put their hand up. They're going to get their paperwork in order, their governance in order. There's a few sports on the list that want to get back in the games. There's new ones that have never been in there. So, everyone's lobbying. Everyone we've seen LA's picked up lacrosse. They've got softball and baseball back in. Squash is new on the roster. And what else? Oh, flag football, because of their obviously the US love of NFL. So that's the pathway sport. So we've got sports like pickleball wanting to get. We've got netball. We've got AFL knocking at the door, and all of those sports that want to put their hand up. So
there's a gold.
If we don't win AFL, we're in all sorts.
Yeah, well, that's part of the challenge, because you have to get 206 national Olympic committees to vote on your sport, and I guarantee there'll be 204 that go, what's that?
Yeah,
we got time to train you.
That's great.
We got time. We got some work to do, but, I don't know about our rugby league either. I don't know if that'll get on the list, but they're all trying.
Hey, Natalie, there was some sort of, what would you say, controversy maybe, or speculation around the uniforms that the beach girls were wearing. What are your thoughts on the uniforms? And it was a question asked, is it just for show? Is it unpractical? Should they be wearing something else? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we are talking about the history, and a long, long time ago, it was the number one thing that we would be asked by journalists about our uniform and why are we wearing a bikini and the boys wearing shorts. And I think, Kerry and I used to talk about in the beginning, most people were attracted to our sport because of our uniforms, and they'd watch and then they'd realise how athletic and dynamic we were and how good the sport was. And therefore they continued to watch, which is why the sport, we see it in the base of the Eiffel Tower, and the feature sport in Paris is just a testament to the amazing dynamic nature of beach volleyball, the party atmosphere, the crowd. So it's evolved. Now we see, due to many reasons, culturally being one of them, female athletes being able to choose what they wear, and we saw the Brazilian girls in the final wear shorts, for example. So you now can choose to wear what you want as long as you both wear the same is kind of the philosophy, so that you're matching. But, yeah, back in the beginning, as a teenage girl myself, I must admit it was intimidating, but I realised that it was, to your point, practical. Tell you, if you get sand in places you don't know exist, and you really, you want to make sure that there's, get rid of the chafe. Less is more and less is better from my perspective as a professional athlete, but I understand it must be difficult on the pathway, and you want to be able to choose what you're most comfortable in. So if I wore like Lycra tights, for example, then the sand gets under the tights, it chafes, it's not very comfortable.
Gotcha.
But now you can make the choice, and that's what's great, and that's what evolution is all about. But it got us on the map, and it absolutely created some attention, and now everyone likes to watch beach volleyball.
It's a great sport, let me tell you. With 5 Olympic appearances, were you ever asked to sort of maybe, lift up the flag for any of the ceremonies?
Oh, that's a touchy subject. I actually asked to lift up the flag. I asked them if I could, and they told me, back in your box, don't ask to lift the flag. And anyway, that's a touchy subject. But Lauren Jackson was the one that got to carry the flag in the 5th games. I walked behind 4 men originally, and said in the 5th games, I said, look, I'd love to a female to carry the flag. And then 3 or 4 interviews in, I thought, actually, that'd be something I'd like to do. I'd like to walk in and represent the country and the team. And unfortunately, it wasn't to be, but that's how life goes sometimes. So Jess Fox, now they do 2. Now they usually have 2 flag bearers, so they can, if they'd like to, choose a female and a male. And most, I think 96% of the countries for the closing ceremony in Paris chose a male and a female. So that's a great... We saw Kaylee McEwen walk the flag out with Matt Wern, the sailor, and a great representation to walk the flag in too. So now it's a different tradition, and I'm grateful that a male and a female can walk the flag in together.
Spot on, mate. It's any wonder you're an inspirational speaker, because just talking to you right now, it's very inspiring to say the least, and what a career you had, mate. But now giving back too as part of that Olympic and Paralympic board for the Games in Brisbane in 2032. So can't thank you enough, Nat, for the chat. Really appreciate it, and all the best with your future.
Perfect. And if I could say one more thing, the athletes are going to need our help all around Australia. We've got 8 years to go to Brisbane. They need our help emotionally and financially, because a lot of our Olympic and Paralympic athletes aren't sustainably funded. And so we need a bit of extra. So when they're out there with their Australian Sports Foundation pages looking for tax deductible donations to help their international travel, like their equipment, some of them have bikes and rowing boats and things they got to pay for. We need the country's support. We need businesses' support. So go and check out the Aussie Athlete Fund and see if you can find a way to support an athlete in your local area.
Oh, good on you, mate. You're thinking of others already. I love it. Fantastic stuff. I know you'll do a great job.
Thanks, boys.
Thank you.
Cook, our guest, of course, Olympic gold medalist in Sydney in 2005, Olympic appearances. Just absolutely outstanding. And I could listen to her speak all day.
Oh, mate.
Brilliant.
No coincidence that she's a great public speaker.
Yeah.
And has a great story to tell. It's a wonderful achievement.
And I don't mind it going and asking to carry the flag. I reckon that's all right.
You want to do it?
If you don't ask, you don't receive.
That's exactly what I've been told.
Simple as that. I loved it.
Outstanding work. It is 7 minutes to 6. Let's check your traffic.
First, what am I to look out for tonight on the drive home? You'll find that at Paraka, Bridge Road near Hazel Street. Super slow as we speak. Green Hill Road at Wavell, really busy. South Road at Mile in both directions. And look out for works which are slow too at Mitchell Park, Dawes Road near Carramar Avenue. Camera tonight, West Avenue at Edinburgh. From school drop-off to the beach, everywhere is an adventure with the 7-seater Isuzu MUX. Visit your local Isuzu ute dealer today to discover the range. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Get a coach's perspective each week on the 5AA Sports Show when Rowie and Timmy G chat with Scott Camporeale for Coach's Corner. Thanks to Unique Homestyle Foods, proudly baking for hundreds of South Australian businesses for 35 years. See the difference.
Don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift.
Deliver more with Toyota, the world's #1 forklift brand. Choose from a great range including pallet jacks, walkie stackers and reach forklifts, right up to their leading Toyota counterbalance forklifts. Legendary reliability and safety with cleaner, greener electric options. Toyota can tailor the right forklift solution for you. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Get a Toyota forklift.
Join Gliderol in celebrating the Colorbond Steal the Show promotion. By purchasing a roller door or sectional door made from Colorbond steel from Gliderol, now or within the last 12 months, you could win $100,000. Visit gliderol.com.au today for a free measure and quote. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply. See colorbond.com/steal the show, 18 plus only. Strict purchase and eligibility criteria apply. Ends 30/11/24.
City Discount Tires.
Get saving this month at City Discount Tyres. Grab 3 Falcon Zig ZE 310R passenger car tyres and get the 4th tyre absolutely free. Experience top-notch performance with exceptional grip on both wet and dry surfaces. Steer your way to citydiscounttyres.com.au for even more great deals. City Discount Tyres. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tires.
Glenelg has something for everyone. Beach, sunsets, cafes, and the $3.9 million grand prize in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. A fully furnished Scott Salisbury masterpiece with soaring ceilings, outdoor living, a swimming pool, and it comes with $500,000. Get your tickets now at homelottery.com.au. Life-changing prizes, life-changing impact. homelottery.com.au. Licence M14585.
See movies how they should be seen. Hear movies how they should be heard. All on the big screen with Quake Sound at Wallace. And now you can see them for less and enjoy candy bar discounts and other special member offers and freebies. Simply become a My Wallace member today. It's free, it's easy and it's full of benefits. Go to wallace.com.au and click on Join My Wallace today. Wallace Mitcham, Mount Barker, Noarlunga and the Piccadilly. South Australia's home of big screen magic and entertainment.
With IGA's Community Give Back sale, you can make big savings.
And help support local causes.
Look for tickets on specials like Omo laundry liquid powder or capsule varieties, $14 each, half price. Now at your local IGA. Offer ends August 20 while stocks last. Excludes Foodland and local grocer.
There is care in simplicity. Our experienced team understand that keeping things simple and easy is the best approach. Visit simplicityfunerals.com.au or call us 24/7 to get started today. Simplicity Funerals. Easy, respectful, simple.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
Tredders in for Rowie at the moment this week, and we're looking forward to Friday night because, of course, it is Showdown Eve, and we will be live at the Arkabar Sporties Bar. It's going to be a fantastic show. We have a full panel. Timmy G, Tredders, Campo, and Crows legend Scotty Thompson will be there 4 till 6. We'll have free beers on arrival, tickets to the Showdown, locker room as well, and of course we'll be previewing all things Showdown, the lead up to a huge Showdown 56. All thanks to Sporties. It's Adelaide's home of live sport. Take your sporting entertainment to the next level. It's Sporties at the Arkabar Hotel. So join us on Friday at 4. Let's hear from Cal Toomey with some interesting news around Dan Houston today.
Now, he wants to get back to Victoria. Port Adelaide has been aware of that, obviously, and they're into Harry Perriman and Isaac Cummings. So if they brought those two free agents in, it makes it a lot easier to let him go and then bring in some pretty strong trade and draft capital for him. We know Melbourne has been interested in him the longest. They've currently got pick 6. That's a pretty prized selection to get into the top end of the draft. So that's a really fascinating one now.
Yeah, what's your thoughts there, mate?
It's just... Dan's come out a month ago and said it's not on his agenda. He said it on breakfast, didn't he?
Contracted, nothing to see here. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, so...
Oh, well, our breakfast show wouldn't lie. No way.
Yeah. So
not the first time
this time
David will have lost
you know what our breakfast show
does
have a curse on it.
But this is the bit that sits, and this time of year there's a lot of stuff getting thrown up.
Of course.
And you know, Dan has knocked it out of the park. Ken's knocked it out of the park. So then you sit back and wait on that.
And the same thing Melbourne did with Petrarca and the like.
Yeah.
They said, nothing to see here. They'll be playing here next year. We all know that lots of discussions go on and things happen, and you wait for it to play out. But normally, I think if something's been mentioned, there's definitely been something discussed.
Yeah, well, and then from a club perspective, you can only go on it. And I'm in a difficult position on this one because I'm involved in some of the decision making around as a board member and a footy committee member. But you got to trust the people that you push ahead with. And for me, I'm listening to what Dan Houston's saying. And if he say there's nothing in it, he's got a 3-year contract. Like, let's be fair, he's probably going to be in the All-Australian team again.
Yeah, he's going right.
Yeah, you want to retain players, not lose players.
He's an exceptional player too, very unique because he's such a good kid.
And he's a guy that's come off a rookie list and come from nowhere. Correct. And the club took a risk to get him many years ago, and he has delivered in spades. Don't worry about first round draft picks; they're great, but when you can pluck them from a rookie list like that and turn them into All-Australians, that's phenomenal.
We're going to take your calls after the break. 8223 0000. Let's get to the 6 o'clock news.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy tonight, down to 13. Rain developing tomorrow, 24. With the 6 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
The Excelsior Hotel has always felt like home, with meals from just $12. Gotta love the Excelsior Hotel.
A gyrocopter has crashed at Corn. It collided with a structure and vehicle at the racecourse just after 4:30 this afternoon. The pilot sustained serious lacerations and has been taken to hospital. His injuries are not believed to be life-threatening. Police are searching the Coorong for a missing kayaker. The man, aged in his 70s, set off on a trip on Monday. The alarm was raised today after he stopped making regular contact. Polair and Water Operations Police are assisting with the search. Well, a homeowner has minor injuries after confronting an intruder during a home invasion. It happened on Glenburnie Terrace at Plympton at lunchtime yesterday. The hunt for the suspect continues. Well, Australia's Olympians say they're happy to be home after their most successful games in history. 9 Adelaide-based competitors touched down in SA this afternoon. Cyclist Matt Glaetzer returns with 2 bronze medals after his 4th Olympics.
Paris was amazing. The crowds were incredible. We had an awesome team. The Aussie cycling team was very young and absolutely attacked it, and we had a great result. It's our second most successful Olympics as an Australian cycling team, and I'm very proud to be a part of it.
People who make and distribute sexually explicit deep fakes are in the state government's sights. It'll introduce new laws later this year, making it a crime, and is seeking community feedback on further legislative reforms to tackle the issue. Attorney General Kayam Ma says the number of explicit deep fakes on the internet has skyrocketed in recent years.
There is a gap in our law now that has not kept up with technology. That is, where an image is wholly artificially created and it looks like an actual person, that there may not be an avenue to prosecute at the moment. We want to make sure that's not the case.
An estimated 90 to 95% of deepfakes are non-consensual porn, and 99% of victims are women or girls. The Commonwealth Bank boss says customers are struggling to deal with the increased cost of living. The bank announced a $9.8 billion cash profit, down from last year's record, but still better than expected. But Commonwealth will pay a full-year dividend of $4.65 a share. Matt Coman says households are being forced to make sacrifices and unable to make repayments.
We've seen that gradually increase over the course of the year-to-date 30 June. It's still from low levels, and so we continue to think that will trend higher over the course of the year.
Bluesfest is coming to an end after 35 years. The festival has been held in the Byron Bay area since 1990 and has drawn some of the biggest names in blues and roots music from both Australia and overseas. Organisers say it's time to close the chapter, making next year's festival the last. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Collect the new shrouded Fable Pokemon trading cards at Sports Card World, Regent Arcade, Rundle Mall.
Port will hold an open training session at Alberton this hour. Mitch Georgiades will test his injured quad in a bid to play in Saturday night's Showdown. Conor Rozee says they want the win this weekend for bragging rights and to cement their place on the ladder.
Yeah, there's clearly some rivalry in wanting to beat the side that's across the town, but we've got some really ambitious goals this season, and that's to go deep into finals. So these last two games are really important for us to set up where we finish on the ladder. We know how close it is at the moment.
Premier Peter Malinauskas hopes Port are victorious in Showdown 56.
And I'm rather concerned about it because the Crows' record against Port has been immaculate over the last few years. You know, you can just see it there. Crows are up and about after a really strong win on the weekend, but hopefully Port can overcome it and get a victory in the weekend.
And Clayton Oliver will miss Melbourne's remaining 2 games with a knee injury and fractures to his ribs, while also undergoing hand surgery. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Aged 45 to 49, search Australian Government free bowel screening kit and order yours today.
First, what am I to look out for tonight on the drive home? You find that at Paraka, Bridge Road near Hazel Street. Super slow as we speak, Green Hill Road at Wavell, really busy. South Road at Mile in both directions. And look out for works which are slow too at Mitchell Park, Dawes Road near Carrama Avenue. Camera tonight, West Avenue at Edinburgh. From school drop-off to the beach, everywhere is an adventure with the 7-seater Isuzu MUX. Visit your local Isuzu ute dealer today to discover the range. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Down to 13 tonight, rain developing tomorrow 24, Friday showers and 16, showers easing Saturday 17. Right now it's 19 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
Thank you, I'm Kate Collins. Tonight's headlines. South Australian students have fallen behind the nation in the latest NAPLAN testing results. A man who was a fugitive from an Adelaide murder charge for 17 years wants to be released on bail. And Mazda's been forced to recall thousands of its popular BT50 utes. And don't worry, you haven't missed the news. Start over on 9 Now as soon as you're home.
Steinborner Automotive has always been well worth the trip, and now there's Barossa Mazda, Murray Street, Nuriutpa. It's SA's newest Mazda dealership, and it's having its first clearance sale. Save thousands on new and demo Mazda CX-5, BT50, CX-30, CX-60. In fact, the whole Mazda range. Experience the difference in the Barossa with outstanding service, a great range of vehicles, state-of-the-art new facility, and you'll see why Barossa Mazda is well worth the trip. barossamazda.com.au.
Specsavers do hearing aids. That's surprising. But here's the real surprise. So do lots of other places. The only difference are the prices. Specsavers are surprisingly low. You know, there's nothing worse than finding out you could have got the same tech for less. So compare prices today on our wide range of top quality, high-tech hearing aids. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Visit us in-store or online for high-definition sound at low Specsavers prices.
Hi, I'm Jo. I'm a registered nurse and I work with St. Louis Home Care as a clinical care coordinator.
St. Louis was started by my great-grandmother and is one big, happy family with lovely staff just like Jo.
The people that work for St. Louis are very loving and caring.
Whether it's personal care, preparing meals, shopping, home maintenance or social activities, we help people stay at home for longer.
If you're interested, come and join us.
Google St. Louis Home Care today.
Tired of waking up tired?
IKEA can help. Start building a more sleep-friendly space with IKEA, the one-stop shop for snoozing. So wake up. It's time to sleep. Make it happen at ikea.com.au.
Thank God you're here.
Thank God you're here.
Thank God you're here.
Why? What did I do?
Thank God You're Here is back. What'll happen when Australia's favourite stars go through the blue door? 7:30 tonight on 10 and 10 Play.
If the bank's declined your business loan, no worries. Universal Finance make business loans easy. No financials required. Unsecured business loans and business overdrafts. Universal Finance can help your business now. For lightning fast settlement, sometimes in just a matter of hours. See Universal Finance in Kent Town today. Or search Universal Finance right now. This is general advice only, and you should consider the terms and conditions before determining whether this advice is suitable for your situation.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rozee and Timmy G.
Yeah, Tredders here for Rozee. It's 8 minutes after 6 on this Wednesday night, which means at 6:30, it's Driving with Dixon. Port Adelaide's Charlie Dixon will join us then. And, of course, we love your calls. 8223 0000 if you want to get involved. Got that Pals voucher to give away.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's some exciting news coming up for Father's Day, September 1st. There is a beautiful new book being released called The Immortals of Australian Football. It's a Gelding Street Press release. It is magnificent, and it is written by Andrew Clark, and we're going to get him on the line now. The Immortals of Australian Rules Football. Andrew Clark, welcome.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much. I've just been sort of thumbing through this magnificent book. It will be a terrific present come Father's Day. I was just wondering, there's a lot of names in there, and we're talking huge names. Hayden Bunton Sr., of course, Jack Dyer and Dusty Martin and the like. I was just wondering, have you ever heard two names called Ebert and Robran?
Yes, I have absolutely. And there's even names like Curly and Corns who I thought about as well.
Oh, did Graham ring you already, has he?
No, he hasn't. No, but I'm sure if somebody gives you the phone number, he'll give me a buzz. But yeah, it was one of those things. We tried to stick, or didn't try to stick. We ended up sticking pretty much closely to the VFL AFL concept, and maybe there's a second book in the ones who have that immortality outside of that main structure. But it was hard enough to come down to 18 just from that list.
Oh, Andrew, it is a really difficult task, and I had a look. You've written The Immortals of Australian Cricket, The Immortals of Australian Motor Racing, and Horse Racing and State of Origin, and I think when you put together lists, one, there's always going to be massive debate, but two, sometimes I think sometimes a list can cause more grief than it can joy.
Yes, yeah, it's one of those things. I love everybody comes in and says, "What about this person? What about that person?"
Yes.
And it's not who you put on the list that creates the controversy; it's the ones you don't put on the list that creates the controversy. So I mean, I was just before somebody said, "Why isn't Michael Voss there?" and instead of Wade Carey or whatever.
Yeah.
So my question is, whenever if you come back and you say, "Let's put this person on," it's who do we drop out?
Yeah.
So who do you think doesn't deserve to be there? And everyone deserves to be there, and that's why we've got a second 18 as well. So there's a bunch of other people who are nearly there, and maybe on their day, if somebody put together enough beers for me or something, we might have got them into the list.
Andrew, you should be an All-Australian selector because everyone wants 40 players in their final 22, so I understand what you've gone through over the journey. But how does this start? A whiteboard and then just throw names on a wall on the whiteboard? How does it work?
Well, I'm a bit more modern than that. I've got a little iPad with a notepad function in there, and that's where I start. And it was really go through the list. So I started out by looking at the AFL Legends section and then the Hall of Fame in general. And then there's my own gut feel. I'm a diehard footy fan and have been my whole life. So there are names that are embedded in my brain. And the way I looked at it was, well, if they're embedded in my brain, aside from the fact that they were Hawthorn, because I'm a Hawthorn supporter, that maybe they're in that immortal bracket to start with. So, when I automatically think of Roy Kazali, it's because of the song primarily is what gets you there in the first place. But he was a phenomenal footballer. So all of those names that are sitting there, that was my start point, and then I had to start whittling it down from there.
And then is it an elimination? Is it just yourself? Is it someone else you consulted? Because sometimes, as you can say, you can get engrossed in something and you need fresh eyes on it sometimes. Did that take place?
Yeah, no, we certainly had lots of long lunches and lots of drinks at the bar and all those sort of things to nut it through. I had a core set of people who I would go to ask. Some of them who have been around a lot longer than I have, and some have been around a little bit less. But yeah, there were certainly people that we said, what do you think? Because the big one was, do I put Dustin Martin in versus Kevin Bartlett? And you're starting to say, well, which one of those? Because it really came down to one of the two of them, and not because they're both Richmond Rovers type of thing, but it just happens to be that way. And we ended up deciding on Dustin Martin over. It must have been a long night, that one. But 3 Norm Smith medals, and the immortality is kind of almost guaranteed, isn't it? So he got the nod over that.
Yeah. How did you judge the eras? Because as we look now, and I've been out of the game since 2010. It's evolved. It's still about contest. There's different tactics. There was no rotations. Now there's restrictions. And the game evolves. Like the old stay-at-home full forward is long gone. How did you go through that?
Yeah, well, we had that conversation just the other night, actually, after the book was knocked away, over Bontempelli versus Ted Whitten. Because everybody's saying, Bontempelli is clearly the best footballer Footscray's ever had. And you could say, absolutely, he is the best footballer. But where does he stand in his era compared to where Ted Whitten stood in his era? Yeah. And we know the whole things. And as I say, I was at lunch the other day with Peter Knights, and we were talking about injuries. And when he got injured, it was like, there you go over and see that doctor, and they'll sort you out. And that was it. You pull a hamstring these days, you've got 4 psychiatrists coming in to help you get over the hamstring injury. So the footballer today is going to be phenomenally better, phenomenally more skilled and fit, and all of those kind of things. But in their era, there's a bunch of people who just stood out above everybody else. And I think that's the kind of the way I looked at it was, well, what about in that era? And if you say Bontempelli's the best Footscray footballer, there's even an argument over whether or not he's the best footballer in the league at the moment. Whereas guys like Ted Whitten, at one stage, there was no doubt he was the best footballer playing. That elevates him to me.
And I think also time. I reckon when a player hasn't played for some time, I think we all become far better great footballers in time after the career is finished. So I think sometimes that helps as well. But I am intrigued by picking a second 18 and putting that list together in there, and then putting an 18 list together of Indigenous players, which I would thought might have made a nice little book itself.
Yeah, I'm pushing for that. If you could just send Gelding Street Press a note and say, look, we need that Indigenous models, I'll certainly do that. But yeah, that was an interesting one in itself as well, because the Indigenous footballers, they're only been dominant or prominent in the last 30 years or so. But boy, have they given us some footballers, whether you're talking your Wanganeen, through to Andrew McLeod and Michael O'Loughlin, through to Lance Franklin, Cyril Rioli. But even back to me, like Sid Jackson was the first Indigenous footballer who I remember, with his hair and all those things, and he was a fantastic player for Carlton. But then you go back and find that Joe Johnson for Fitzroy won two premierships as a footballer. And not to mention Doug Nicholls, who you in South Australia would well know as a former governor of the state as well. So not just a fantastic footballer, but an amazing statesman and a leader in his community. So, and that was the thing with the Indigenous footballers. A lot of them are prominent in their own communities as well as being just great footballers.
That's spot on.
That was a great little chapter to do, actually. They dropped that on me at the last minute and said, do you want to do this little chapter? And they said, just give us the list. I said, I couldn't do that, so I had to write the whole chapter for it. But I'd love to do that book. It'd be a phenomenal book to write.
I agree. And, mate, this is an absolute beauty, and I think it will be a great Father's Day present as well as Christmas present. You name it. It's really well put together. It's a hardback. It's got a lovely cover on it. Sensational stuff. Mate, where can we pick it up? All good bookstores, as they say?
Well, they're all good bookstores. It's at Big W, which QBD and Dimmicks in South Australia. So any one of those three. There's various spots you can buy it online as well. But, go to those stores first. And who knows, maybe when I come over for the Adelaide 500 later in the year, we can organise some signing of them somewhere.
Oh, I love it, mate. No, give us a buzz. We're always here, buddy.
Yeah, will do.
Excellent stuff. Andrew Clark writing The Immortals of Australian Rules Football. A really easy little read. Perfect for Dad on Father's Day or this Christmas. Go and pick it up. Big W or QBD.
And perfect to debate over Father's Day
And
too.
perfect
Because
to
it
have lots of
always
arguments.
polarises opinion.
Well-
Someone will hold someone higher than someone else,
That was-
and there'll be
yeah.
no method or madness or reason for any of it.
That was my opening line.
Yep.
Ebert and Robert.
Yep, that's exactly it. 17 after 6.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G.
Treadray, second chance, goal!
Port Adelaide straight shooter Warren Treadray talks footy with Rowie and Timmy every Friday thanks to Ignition for Men. For top brand tailored fitted men's suits and casual wear, see Ignition for Men, 54 Paynham Road, Stepney.
Hi, Brett Ebert here for Mawson Lakes Mazda. There's a lot to like about Mawson Lakes Mazda, and it seems you like them too. The free rego and stamp duty offer was so huge, it's back. That's 12 months of rego and stamp duty. Plus, they'll also chuck in $500 worth of accessories. They tell me the red ones are going fast. Mawson Lakes Mazda. Free rego and stamp duty and $500 worth of extras on all new Mazdas until August 31st. Mawson Lakes Mazda. Just a short drive from the city.
At Simplicity Funerals, we have been keeping funerals simple and easy for over 40 years. Visit simplicityfunerals.com.au or call us 24/7 to get started today. Simplicity Funerals. Easy, respectful, simple.
She's been by your side from the beginning. You've raised a family together, supported one another's dreams, and when things got tough, you got through it together. So this anniversary or birthday, express your gratitude and love with a handmade statement jewellery piece from Bell & Brunt, a family-owned custom jeweller with over a century of experience. Celebrate your partner with Bell & Brunt, James Place, City. Visit bellandbrunt.com.au. Crafted for generations.
Phantom Screens are the only manufacturer that make outdoor blinds up to 12 metres long. More than enough for an outdoor entertainment kitchen, a petting zoo, most of a bowling alley, and a historically accurate Viking longboat. Since 1995, Phantom Screens have been improving homes with top quality, powder-coated, aluminium-framed retractable screens. Whatever space you have, there's a Phantom Screen for you at phantomscreens.com.au.
Now just $9.99 a kilo. Aldi's boneless pre-marinated chicken feeds a family of 4. Hello? Oh, hey. Hello. Or one sumo wrestler. What do you do? Or 10,000 tiny sumo wrestlers. Aldi. Good different.
What makes Ray White the big name in business broking? They're people, like multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year, Brett Buckley, and his team of business professionals. They take a deep dive into your business, finding value and potential, and they know what they're looking for, because they know businesses. They're not real estate salespeople trying to sell businesses, they're business people selling businesses. If you want to know what your business is worth, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA, multiple Business Broker of the Year awards.
Much on this weekend? How about a quick trip to Amsterdam? Dig into cones of Belgian fries topped with mayo, mini Dutch pancakes and indulgent Biscoff milkshakes. Stock up on authentic Dutch products, market-fresh produce and irresistible Dutch cakes made from scratch daily. Take a leisurely stroll past the windmill, admire the tulips and the Delft Blue. Visit Amsterdam this weekend at the Dutch Pantry. OG Road Clemzig, open 7 days. Just look for the big windmill.
Everyday items locked in at low prices for longer. There's more ways than ever to save at Foodland.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
21 minutes after 6 on this Wednesday night. Driving with Dixon coming up very, very shortly. Charlie Dixon from 6:30, of course. Try and sneak a call in if we can as well by the end of the show. 8223 0000.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, there's a fantastic five-a-side world game football soccer competition coming to Adelaide. It's going to be very exciting. It's called 5AA Football Fives.
Oi,
how's that for a name?
got
You
a
like
name?
it? You like that?
I
well,
like it.
we got an absolute champion, former Adelaide United star and Football Federation ambassador. Let's go to Cristiano. G'day, mate.
How are you?
Excellent, my friend. Can you give us a bit of an insight into how this competition's going to play out?
Oh, that's going to be fantastic, mate. It's going to be a five-a-side competition for senior women, senior men's, junior, and social. Like, it's going to be a competition for all ability. It's going to be great.
Oh, I love it. Where will it be played? Like in the Parklands? I can remember seeing similar setups.
That's going to be here at our Service FM stadium at Jeps Cross.
Ah, yes. Excellent.
Yeah, fantastic facility.
So just a bit of a rundown here. Smaller fields, smaller goals, 5 players a side, quick 20-minute halves, unlimited subs, so it's good for keeping those fitness levels up. Both men's and women's comps for all ages. Is this just a one to get people interested if you're sort of sitting there, or does it fit for all generations and ages?
That's for all generation. Everyone's welcome. It's all ability. Even if you want to just come and play casual, it's going to be available for everyone. Yes.
I like the idea of this because
fantastic.
The subbing on and subbing off, Cristiano, I think that's where I come in.
Yeah. Come on for 30 seconds, stay off for 10 minutes.
I can give you the best 30 seconds of your life, but that's about it, mate. I'm no good after that. That's good.
It's great for fitness. Keep playing, and when you're tired, just come out and have a break, and then come on again. It's great. Great for fitness as well.
So, Cristiano, how would I? If I've got say 7 mates, we get ourselves a little roster and what's not. How do I go about applying and putting a team in?
Yeah, you just so we're gonna put a registration out as soon. You just register the team, and then you get the fixtures. There you go.
Oh, beautiful! So that'll open on Monday, the 19th of August. This Monday.
Yes.
Beautiful. So head to football5sa.com.
Done.
And you can register your team and get this happening because I'm loving it.
Are you playing?
I'm one probably.
Hang on, he's going a bit cold here. Unlike his ripped hamstring he's going to do inside 5 minutes.
I do have a bit of a back issue at the moment.
If we can get him a chair, Cristiano, he's in. He's whinging about his chair.
I might play goalie.
I think he will be in as well. I think it will be in. That's definitely in, yes.
Yeah, Cristiano, are you allowed to have a goalie?
Yes, it's going to have a goalie. Yes.
I'm in. I might leak a bit to begin with, if that might be an issue as well, mate. Hey, how do you reckon our Reds are going to go this year?
Sorry?
How do you reckon our Reds are going to go this year? Adelaide United.
I think we're going to be fine. I think we're going to be all right. Just continue what we started last year with the younger squad, some younger players coming through.
Beautiful.
I think we're going to be fine.
Good. Excellent, mate. I look forward to it. Thanks very much for talking to us, mate. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Excellent. Registration's open Monday, the 19th of August. Football5sa.com. Get on board.
Yep.
Get your team together.
That sounds exciting.
It's a great setup at Jeps Cross.
Yeah,
Drove past my son, played a footy game finally out that way, and I've gone, oh, hang on, where's all these? Just fields are popping up left, right and centre.
Amazing facility.
It's great. Yeah. I hadn't seen it before. Huge.
Well played. Let's go to the York Peninsula. G'day, Shane.
Yeah, g'day guys. How you going?
Excellent.
Good, you?
What do you got for us?
Yeah, good. Yeah, real good. I'm just want to bring up in relation to the Aboriginal players.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, if you look up in 1980, I think it was about 82, 83. There was a Aboriginal All Stars team that was formed together. There was Stephen Michaels, there were Cracker Brothers, the whole lot.
Wow, that would have been a good side.
And they actually played Richmond Sunrayser, who won the grand final that year, the VFL.
Yeah, right. How'd they go? Beat them?
They flogged them.
Oh, wow. Unreal.
Yeah, so if you just want to have, I don't know, Google it or whatever.
Yeah.
So what year was it?
82, 83
around
there.
Around about 82, and that's when Richmond won the grand final.
Yeah, that was strong. Yeah.
But I don't know if they had all the Richmond side, but it was
83, mate. Oz Footy
83.
Net. I've just got on here. If we can.
Yep.
My phone's running the old dial up here.
Good memory, Shane.
Yeah.
Oh well, my dad was the runner.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
And my uncle was the coach. He was the coach of that. So it's
your
always
dad?
been up,
Who was your dad?
Brian Warrior.
Yeah, well, there you go. How good's that, Shane? You should be proud of
Yeah,
that one.
so it's just, definitely, because it's something that's never been mentioned, that was the first, and the side was unbelievable. You have a look at the side.
Yeah. Good names.
I think they beat them about 20 goals, I think.
Wow, because I can remember, Shane, in the late 80s, we used to go up and play the combined NT All-Stars for a pre-season game. And, mate, it was January long weekend in wet season.
Oh.
I reckon I was dead by 5 minutes in. It was too hot for me.
Here we go, Shane. Here's the lineup. Cecil Graham, Ron Jackman, Peter Carter, Phil Graham, Wilbur Wilson, Phil Egan, Kevin Hill, Maurice Rioli, Mark Motlop, Robert Keeble, Colin Graham, Greg McAdam, Rex Handy, Robbie Muir, Wally Lovett, Stephen Michael was the ruck, followers Phil Cracker and Jimmy Cracker, And then the interchange, Michael Graham, Gary Berry, John Mitchell, Trevor Handy, Macca Egan, Ian Barry, and Barry Kirby.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
What a lineup.
Some names in there.
Any wonder they won.
Mate, what, you reckon you'd win a clearance with Steve and Michael hitting into the Cracker Brothers?
Oh, yeah, I reckon you're winning clearance.
Followed by Morris Rioli sitting in there as a centreman.
What a gun. Unreal.
Wow.
Well done. Hey,
fair
thanks,
team.
Shane. That was awesome. Great call. $50 powers voucher for you, sir. Let's go to Hectorville. G'day, Max.
Yeah, good day. With the showdown, I heard you say that you reckon that, what's his name, the tagger for Port Adelaide,
Drew?
the guy that's, him, so
No worries.
brain's gone frozen, but you reckon that he should tag Matt Crouch, but I disagree with that. I don't think Matt Crouch does a lot of damage as far as a metres gained sort of player, and he's not a quick midfielder. I think Willem Drew should be used as a proper ball-getting midfielder. I think that is benefiting Port Adelaide in terms of the other options, like...
Who said that, Max?
I said it. I said it yesterday.
I said Dawson.
I said it, and so did Campo say Dawson as well. So, but Max is saying let him free.
I think he needs to be assigned to a job. Otherwise, too many attacking mids. But yeah, everyone has a different
call,
opinion.
Max.
And yeah, good call, good debate.
We will continue that debate as well tomorrow when we start to build up to Showdown a little bit more. Thursday, 2 days out from Showdown 56. Cannot wait. We have Charlie Dixon to join us next on 5AA with his motoring show Driving with Dixon. Have a great night. We're back tomorrow from 4.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. 5AA Nights with Leaf Forest.
What is the history of Australian submariners at war? That is the subject of a new book from